Alright, back for day 2 of Emio. Here we are again. I think we're on chapter 3 now. Lots of similarities. Don't quite have a full picture. Don't think I have a full picture. Don't think I know quite whether or not any of this is, whether we have an idea who the killer is. I don't think we've met the killer yet. Maybe we have, but I don't think we've met the killer yet. Well, although that would be kind of out of the ordinary for a lot of these things. But anyway, let's hop back in. Load. Yeah, let's review the plot thus far. Eisuke Sasuke, age 15, was found dead with a paper bag with a smiley face drawn on it over his head. The scene was similar to those of unsolved murders from 18 years ago, as well as the urban legend of the Smiling Man. Kamada tells you about two people who disappeared around the same time as that murder investigation. One was a man who was close to the first victim. After he disappeared, his apartment was found bloody. Detective Kuze's older brother, Makoto Kuze, was the other. He was 14 and also never been found. Utsuki was already aware of the disappearance of Makoto Kuze. Kuze says that at the time, Kamada requested assistance in the investigation of Makoto's disappearance because he was preoccupied with the investigation of the serial murders of young girls. That was when Utsuki met the young Junko Kuze. Utsuki leaves the office for a while to investigate the urban legend of the Smiling Man. Utsuki instructs you to investigate the Kuze siblings. Utsugi believes that the disappearance of Makoto Kuze may somehow be connected to this new case. He tells Ayumi to continue her investigation at Minami Daisen Junior High School. You are traveling to Yukariko Village, where the Kuze household is located. Let's see what we can do. I don't see anyone. No one's around. No one to ask. Let's see. The truck? There's a truck parked here. Is someone around? Lots of cabbages. Whoa. That guy just sprouted out of the field. He was planted there. I guess he was just crouching down, eh? I should go talk to him. Excuse me. Do you have a moment? Huh? Huh? What do you want? What do you want? We're just in a freaking shouting match here. Excuse me? Do you know the way to the Kuze residence? The Kuze place, eh? Sure, Sonny. Just go straight down that dirt road and head towards the mountains. It's right at the end of the road. Can't miss it. Got it. Thank you very much. Straight down the road, huh? Let's get there ASAP. I kind of want to ask him more questions, though. I kind of want to ask him more questions. You know. Oh, that's weird. Audio levels are weird. Hold on a second. For whatever reason, I just made things really... Oh, I see what happened. Ah, okay. Let's try that. Nope, needs to be a little higher. Alright, how's that? As to be expected, I touched one thing and everything broke. So, what are you gonna do? Alright. That should be better now. Alright. He's so enthusiastic. Alright. Let's go. Detective Kuze's family home. The house at the end of the road. It must be this one. Actually, hold on a second. I think... I just want to turn the background. Yeah. We'll turn that up a little bit. All right. Oh, I cannot play it. I'll simply do not play so that I can a little less. Since I'm voicing everything anyway. Alright. Hello? Anyone home? Guess, nobody's home? Can't hear any noises coming from the house. It's quiet and peaceful. It doesn't seem like anyone's around. No reply. The nameplates have been removed. I can't say for sure that this was Detective Kuze's home. There's nothing in the mailbox. It's not cracked, but it's pretty dirty and hard to see through. Doesn't seem like anyone's here. The grass is overgrown. No one's done any yard work for a long time. I don't think anyone's actually here. No one's home, but let me try one more time. Excuse me? Anyone home? Nothing. Well, that didn't work. Let's look around at everything we can. Grass, house. House, grass. Just grass. Just. Whoop! Oh, a grasshopper. Don't chase after it. Professional detectives don't do that sort of thing. Have a little fun, loosen up. Grasshopper is very weird and interesting. Whoa, hold on. Clothesline. It's an old clothesline. Doesn't look like it's been used recently. I think I've gone over everything. Maybe the place is vacant. Doesn't look like anyone's here. Maybe I should come back later. Oh, maybe Mr. Utsuki would know something. Wait, the screen isn't working. It's supposed to light up, isn't it? Oh, the battery's dead. I can't make a call like this. I need to remember to recharge the battery when I get back to the office. Anyway, there's no one here, so let's go back to talk to that guy in the field again. We're going back to the field. Going back to the yelling match. What are you doing? Oh, you scared me. Sorry, you are? Name's Tayama. I live next door. Hello. Oop, nope. Wrong button. Sorry, I didn't see anyone in the house. Yeah, no one lives there, so no matter how much you shout, no one's coming out. Just like I suspected. I see, but this was the Kuze residence, wasn't it? Sure was, but like I said, no one lives here anymore. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Sure, but you a friend of Junko's or something? Oh, no, I'm a private... Wait, maybe I don't want it to get back to Detective Kuze that I was snooping around here. She might yell at me. What should I do? I'll be honest, I think, in this case. I can handle a little yelling. I'll be honest and reveal my identity. You're what now? Private detective. I'm an investigator. A detective? Uh-oh. So you must know Junko! Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Great, great! You must be some kind of great detective duo, huh? I gotcha. I mean, we aren't, but... You mentioned earlier that the house was vacant. How long has it been that way? Let's see, I think it's been about 2 years. Junko went off to be a detective and left the village. And Yoshi doesn't live here anymore. Neither does Makoto. So yeah, no one's around. Yep, no one lives here anymore. Yoshi? Could that be Kuze's mother? And Makoto is Detective Kuze's brother, of course. I've got all kinds of burning questions about the Kuze family. Sorry, who's Yoshi? Or Yoshie? She's Makoto and Junko's grandma. Detective Kuze's grandmother? I see. So it happened to their parents. Next logical question. She was lovely. Just a kind person who took very good care of her grandkids. Yoshi really loves her two grandkids. Alright. The siblings themselves. What were Junko and Makoto like as kids? You know, brother and sister wise. Let me think. Junko, she always acted more like the big sister than the little one. I can imagine. Yep, you know what I mean. They got along very well as siblings. Those two kids, Makoto and Junko, lost their parents in an accident when they were young. Alright. So their grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Kuze, took them in. They all lived here in the village. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Kuze were real generous to take care of the kids like that. Thanks to them, Makoto and Junko had pretty normal childhoods, and they grew up healthy and strong. Ah, they were good kids. Yeah, raise the voices just a little bit. I thought I heard yelling, so I came over to check it out. Imagine my surprise to find a youngster like you. Youngster? I mean, I'm 19. Alright, that is young, by the way. That's still definitely a youngster. That'll make me feel older playing this freaking game, man. 19 is young. Let's talk more about the siblings. They were a good brother and sister team, those two. I think this name bears a lot of info. Let's keep asking. Anyway, after Junko left home, it was just Yoshie and her husband living here. And he passed away, about 2 years ago now. So she left soon after. Is that so? Yoshie really raised those kids right, especially considering how they lost their parents. Did he mention how Makoto went missing? No. Where's Yoshie now? Oh, she lives in a retirement home in the village. Junko didn't want her living alone, so it was her idea. So that explains why the family home is empty. That's right, they're actually going to be tearing this house down pretty soon. Oh, I see. Tearing it down, huh? I wonder if there's any clues to Makoto's disappearance then. Yoshie lives in a retirement home now. This house is going to be turned down soon. Maybe Makoto will come back one day. I'm sure he'd love to see this place again. He'll be sad when the house isn't there anymore. So this house is going to be torn down. Healthy kids are happy kids, aren't they? Same thing. Same thing. Hey, look at you. You gonna tell me? That's Tayama, the next door neighbor. I'm missing something. Maybe look at the surroundings. I wonder if Detective Kuze would be sad if she saw it like this. What are you doing here anyway? Interested in the Kuze family home? Yes, in a sense. I hear you. Every so often I come check out the place myself. Just curiosity, you know. Vacant houses have a way of falling to pieces pretty quick if you don't tend to them. But you know that. I didn't, but... Oh, by the way... By the way, what? I think it was 3 days ago, yeah. I was on my way home from meeting and I saw a light on in the house here. No one's supposed to be in there. I was curious about what was going on, so I went to check it out. That's when Junko walked out the door. That's interesting. So Detective Kuze was here 3 days ago. Junko said she just came by to see if she had left anything behind that she might need. See, because this house is getting torn down soon, she felt bad that it would be a disturbance. Poor girl, she just kept apologizing. Of course, I invited her to tea. I hadn't seen her in ages. But she said she couldn't. She had to work extra early the next day and all that, you know. I can't believe she's a detective now. She's all grown up. She looked just like the detectives you see on TV. I guess she's all grown up. I don't think I have any more questions. Maybe it's time to see if I can talk to Detective Kuse's grandmother. Tayama might know which retirement home Yoshie went to. Let's find out. Which retirement home is Yoshie living in? Oh, let's see. I'm pretty sure it's called, Yukariko Relax? Yeah, that's it. Yukariko Relax. Great, thank you. It's a nice name, and I hear the place lives up to it. It's just a little ways up past the mountain if you're looking for it. Alright, I think we're good. Thanks for all the info. I appreciate it. I'm gonna see if I can talk to Yoshie. Okay. Tell Yoshie I said hello. Oh, before you go... Yes? I've got something for you. Oh, we got some eggplants. Look at that. Yeah, take this. Oh, I can take them, okay. Good. Oh, that's a lot of eggplants. Yep, grew these babies myself. They're delicious. It ain't much, but I want you to have them. So many eggplants. See, Makoto was a big fan of eggplant. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you very much. I'll gladly take these. Let's see a look here. We gotta go through here. Junko. Detective Kuze on the it was on the day Eisuke died. Detective Kuze visited Yukariko Village, the Kakariko Village. I wonder if it's a yeah. The house they used to live in has been vacant for 2 years. Yeah. And Tayama, don't know how old he is. He lives in Yukariko Village next to the Kuze family home. He knows that Junko Kuze became a detective and that Makoto Kuze is missing. On the day Eisuke died, he met with Detective Kuze at the former Kuze family home, which is set to be demolished soon. He said that Yoshie Kuze lives in a retirement home in Yokariku Village. He gave Conan some eggplants that he harvested from his own field when they parted. He's investigating the urban legend. Lost their parents at a young age, and were taken in by their grandparents. Damn, he really liked eggplants. Interesting. So where did they live before they lost their parents? Grandmother to Junko Kuze and Makoto Kuze. Along with her husband, she took in and raised both Junko and Makoto, who had lost their parents. Alright, I think it's time to travel to Yukariko Relax. I'm off to Yukariko Relax, but thank you so much for the delicious eggplants. Safe travels! Whoa, flashback. 3 days ago, 8:19 p.m., the Kuze house. Cutscene. Memories. Cute little rabbit. Was this her room, I wonder? She remembered something? Something in the closet? What's in the closet? Oh, alright. What's in the closet? Finally, I'm here. Funny how far Tayama's idea of a little way turned out to be. Meanwhile, I'm lugging enough eggplants to feed an army, and hiking up a mountain. Wait, this says Relax Yukariko Village. That's not exactly what Tayama said, but I must be in the right place. So, Yoshie Kuze. I wonder what Detective Kuze's grandmother will be like.
Konnichiwa.
Hello.
Hi?
What? Hello. Excuse me. Are you here to visit a family member? No, not exactly. So you're not a family member? I'd like to have a word with one of the residents here. Do you have an appointment? I'm afraid I don't see anything in the records. No, sorry, I don't have an appointment. No? Oh. Well, I'm very sorry. But this facility has a policy against allowing visitors without a prior appointment. So, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. What? I'm sorry, but you'll have to leave. Let me think here. A number of older folks are chatting amicably. I guess you can't just show up for a visit unless you're family. I guess that makes sense for folks who aren't related. Maybe I should try another time? Oh, no, I can't do that. Well, I guess I don't know any of these people. Yeah, I can't. Look at that. Don't those folks live here? They seem happy. Alright. Sorry, I didn't make an appointment. I'll come back another time. Thank you for understanding. Just be sure to let the resident know the next time you'd like to visit, and I'll make an appointment. Will do, ma'am. I'll be on my way. Maybe I should contact Yoshie and make an actual appointment for a visit. Wait, how would I even do that? How would you do that? There's no way for me to set up an appointment. Maybe I should just ask Detective Kuze for help. What am I thinking? That's a terrible idea. Is Yoshie Kuze here? It's so lonely out here. It does seem relaxing here, though. No, nope. Place isn't quite as fancy as the name implies. Oh, there's literally like nothing to actually individually look and examine at. Any of these windows? Any of these windows got anything? No. Alright. So what do I do? If I can't come up with a way to make an appointment, I may not be able to talk to Mrs. Kuze at all. With that in mind, I'll need to try talking to the receptionist again. And we're going back inside. Oh, I thought you left. I'm sorry, but you'll have to leave. I know it's a rule, but I'm actually from the Utsugi Detective Agency, and I have some questions for Yoshie Kuze. You're a detective? Yes, and I would have made an appointment, but I'm not acquainted with Mrs. Kuze. Is there anything we can do here? I'm sorry, but rules are rules. We can't accommodate anyone without an appointment. And I can't make an appointment. What do I want to do here? Alright, let's do this. Rules are rules. There's nothing I can do. Yes. Let's have her call Yoshie to the desk. Yes. Huh? When did I come up with that? Yoshie. Could you call Yoshie Kuze? Excuse me? You know, I'd just like to say hello real quick and then make an appointment. I think she'd be happy to see me. I'm afraid it's not possible. Like I already said. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Ugh, I knew this wouldn't work. I feel like I'm starting to make a scene. Oops, I made eye contact.
どちら様?
Who are you? Can I help you?
何かご
Oh, no, it's...
ヨシエさん、どちらかわからない人
Mrs.
とは
Yoshie, remember, we mustn't interact with strangers. Is this Mrs. Kuze? Examine. Excuse me, are you Yoshie Kuze?
ええ、
Why,
そうよ。
yes, I am.
ヨシエさんってば
Yoshie.
ほら、ごらんなさい。
Oh, don't you
この子が
worry,
悪い
this
人
young
に見え
man
る
is
かしら？
harmless. She seems kind. It feels like I'm talking to Grandma Sawako.
あらあら、どうし
Oh
たの、あ
my
なた。
goodness, what's
急に
wrong?
悲しそう
You
な顔に
suddenly
なっ
look
て。
so sad.
お腹で
Do
も
you have
痛
a
いのか
tummy
しら？
ache? No, I'm fine.
それで、
So you
あ
are.
なたは。
I'm from the Utsuki Detective Agency, and I came here to speak with you.
まあ、
Oh
探偵さ
my,
ん。
a detective.
わかりまし
Well,
た。
how can I
ご
help
用
you?
件を聞かせてちょうだい。
ヨシエさん
Mrs. Yoshie,
困らせてごめんなさいね。
is this against the
でもこの子、
rules? This
とても
young
困
man
っている
seems
よう
like
だ
he's in
ったか
some
ら。
sort of trouble.
うん
I'm so sorry for the inconvenience.
ヨシエさんもこうおっしゃってるし
Alright, since
いいわ。
Mrs. Yoshie is okay with
特別に
it, I'll allow
こ
the
れでご面
visit.
会のご予約完了としましょう
But don't make a habit of this, okay? Yes, thank you.
では奥へどうぞ
Feel free to enter the facility.
ああ、村からここまで歩い
Did
て
you
きた
walk
の？
all the way here from the
大変だっ
village?
たでしょ？
You must be exhausted. Huh?
それで、
So,
探偵
what
さん
can
は
I do
ど
for
んな
you,
ご用でこちら
detective?
に？
I hope this doesn't offend you, but I have to ask some tough questions. Can we talk about your grandson Makoto's disappearance 18 years ago? Hmm,
どうして
why are you
お
asking?
知りになりたいの？
I'm investigating a case that may have some connection. Oh?
誠の
And
失踪が
Makoto's
そう
disappearances.
ですか。
I see. Let's just start with anything you remember about it.
一つ聞かせて
Let
ほし
me
いんだ
ask
け
you
ど、
one thing. Of course.
あなたが
Does
私を
Junko know
訪
you're
ねてくること
here?
をじゅ
Oh. I still haven't figured out whether this game has like branching paths. Which one is the right answer? Maybe this one? I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna try to be honest. No, I haven't told her.
そうやっぱ
I
り
suspected not.
言ったら純子
She
が
wouldn't have
訪問を
wanted
許
you
さ
to
ないわ
speak
よ
with
ね。
me. She knows her granddaughter well.
わかりました。
I understand. Well,
お
I'm
役
not
に
sure
立て
if
るか
I
は
can
わかり
help,
ませんが
but I'll tell you
お
what I
話しします
can.
ね。その日は
It was July 1st, 18 years ago, Junko's 9th
純子
birthday.
の
We wanted to make it as special as we could. So my husband and I were out shopping for a gift. We must have gotten carried away. We were gone far longer than we expected. We didn't get home until after 7 p.m. And when we did return, there weren't any lights on in the house. Junko, Makoto, where are you two? What is it? What's wrong? Ooh, flowers. Oh, flowers. Like from the title card of the game, flowers? Oh. We found Makoto sitting in the darkened tea room, staring vacantly and all around. There were purple flower petals scattered all over the place. Purple flower petals? I tried to find out what was going on, but Makoto wouldn't say a word. Then my husband said, "Hey, where's Junko? I can't find Junko anywhere. Makoto, where's Junko? Hey, Makoto!" When Makoto heard Junko's name, he rushed out of the house. We were in shock, but we waited patiently for the two of them to come back. They didn't return. At around 9 p.m., we called the police, and shortly after that, I heard the front door slide open. I thought, thank goodness they're back. So we rushed to the front door to greet them. But instead, Junko was the only one there. She had returned without Makoto, in tears. When I asked about Makoto, she just cried harder and wouldn't speak. The police eventually showed up and I tried to speak to Junko, but she wouldn't say anything. Later that night, we searched far and wide for Makoto. Neighbors and police helped us comb the entire village, but we couldn't find him anywhere. And we've never seen him since. Oh, it lines up with most everything we've learned about the case. At least confirms what everyone else was saying. A neighbor I spoke to said that Makoto and Junko were very close as brother and sister. So, what could have happened that day to separate such tight-knit siblings? Maybe it's just a painful memory she doesn't want to relieve. She stopped talking for now. Flowers, hold on. They're purple flowers. Yeah. Is she looking at my plastic bag? What's that you brought with you? Oh, this, one of the villagers gave it to me. I see. My grandkids loved eggplant, especially Makoto. That's what I heard. Will you listen to another little story? I'd love to, please. Makoto was just a quiet, honest, and kind-hearted boy. He smiled all the time, even if a friend was teasing him. And he never got angry. He was a sweet brother to Junko. And what about Junko? Junko used to be annoyed that Makoto never seemed to get angry. She'd get angry on his behalf sometimes. She'd say, "Who's going to protect you, big brother? It's me. I've got to do it since you won't protect yourself." I can almost hear it. He was one of those big brothers who sort of let his younger sister call the shots, but deep down he knew she was his little sister. She was so adorable. And even as feisty as Junko was, I'm sure she looked up to him as a big brother. Even when he seemed a bit soft, he was always protecting her. So what did cause them to separate? When it came to Junko, it's almost like Makoto was a different person. He was usually so timid. He was scared of the dark country roads at night. In fact, he didn't want to leave the house after dark, at least until the day he disappeared. Interesting. But one night, when Junko suddenly came down with a high fever, Makoto ran to the hospital by himself in the middle of the night to alert a doctor. Can you imagine how the doctor reacted? He couldn't believe Makoto had done that. And Makoto actually stayed up that whole night, watching over Junko. Junko and Makoto's parents died in a terrible accident. What kind of accident? Oh, but Junko was still just a baby. She cried all the time, even after coming to the village. It must have been so hard she couldn't have the love she needed from her parents. Interesting. Junko did cry a lot, poor thing. Makoto would watch over his sister with a smile on his face, not saying a word. Sometimes Junko would tease him and ask him if he was sad. But Makoto would just say, "I could never be sad with you as a little sister." That's what he always said. Some nights after Junko went to sleep, I noticed that Makoto would cry alone.
He never showed that sort of emotion in front of us. He was usually all smiles.
Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if he was involved in some way. Well, obviously, or well, I guess his parents did die. Idiot.
The poor boy had helped heal and nurture Junko.
Like, why is this kid crying at night? Oh, I don't know, maybe he lost his parents. Come on now.
Those precious kids, they're both irreplaceable.
So young Detective Kuze and her brother Makoto had a strong bond as children. It sounds like they were as happy as brother and sister can be. So what could have happened between them on that day 18 years ago? That piece of the puzzle is still missing. There must have been something to trigger their actions that day. Nothing. Okay. And now is the time for the flowers? Was I a step ahead? Purple flowers.
Say,
Yes?
have you ever seen an eggplant flower?
Eggplant flower? I don't know. No? I wonder if the scattered flower petals she mentioned could have been...
Well, they were pretty purple. They have very pretty purple flowers. A shade of purple just like Junko's favorite. On the night that Makoto disappeared, Junko finally calmed down and spoke with me. She explained what happened and why there were eggplant flower petals everywhere.
Yeah?
Back then, my husband and I were avid gardeners. We made wonderful meals from our vegetable garden. Naturally, the kids took an interest, especially when they tasted how delicious everything was. Junko started saying, "I want to grow vegetables too." I asked her what kind of vegetables she was most interested in growing, and she said, "Eggplants, because my brother loves them so much. Let's grow some for his birthday as a surprise."
That was around his birthday, wasn't it? Or was it not? Am I making stuff up? When he disappeared.
She was just so adorable. Anyway, we thought she could manage some eggplants, so we staked out a small pot in the backyard. We figured Makoto wouldn't find it because he hated the bugs back there. It was going to be a secret. The plan was to harvest in July, which was when both kids had their birthdays. And Junko looked after them every day. She was almost egging on the eggplants to grow. Well, Junko was a terrific gardener, and the eggplants grew nicely, with lots of blooming flowers. She was just overjoyed. She'd ask me every day when we could finally harvest them. When I told her that it would be around the time of Makoto's birthday, she was overjoyed. She was so excited, she didn't realize that the flowers were going to bloom on her birthday. So she came home from school that day. "I'm home."
Hey, Junko, guess what? I have a present for you.
プレゼント？
A present? What for?
It's your birthday, and I got some flowers in your favorite shade of purple. Happy birthday. But
お
are
兄ちゃん、
those...
それ？
I know it's not much, but I really thought you'd like them. And they were just in our backyard. Can you believe it? So beautiful and in full bloom. So that's what happened.
誠も純子を喜ばせたい一
I
心
know
だったんで
his
しょう
heart was in the right place, but oh, what he had done.
その花は
Those are eggplant flowers.
兄ちゃんの
You
バカ。
idiot!
これは
I was growing
純子が
those.
育ててたナスの花なんだよ。お兄ちゃ
I
んの誕生
planted
日プ
them
レ
for
ゼント
you,
に
and I've been tending to them for months, and
育て
What?
お兄ちゃんなんか
I hate
お兄
you.
ちゃんなんか
I
ダメ
hate you.
もう知らない。
I wish you'd just
どっ
go
かに行ったらいいの
away.
に。
Junko.
これが
That's how
私
Junko
が純子
remembers
から
it.
聞いた話です。
So that's what happened 18 years ago. That must have been traumatizing. For Junko to have lost her brother like that after such an intense fight. I'm sure she took it hard. She probably blamed herself. And poor Makoto. To have upset his sister so much when he only ever wanted to make her happy. The whole incident sounds like it was a shock. What an irony that their love for each other would ultimately tore them apart. It's so sad. This is also why communication is so important. Sometimes surprises and secrets, even when they're benevolent, aren't always a good thing to keep.
その後純子は自分のせいだ自分のせいだ
Junko was so depressed after the incident. She cried and cried, feeling like it was all her fault.
なんとか元気づけられる方法はないかと
I tried to think of ways to cheer her up.
何の慰
I
めに
don't
もな
know
ら
if
な
I
いかも
made
し
a
れない
difference,
け
but
ど
at one point I helped her press some of the
Yeah, you
flowers
tried
into
to
bookmarks.
押し花のしおり
I
を
wonder if
作
that's
っ
what was
た
in the
の
closet.
純子
I told her that we'd keep them as good luck charms. Maybe they would help
み
bring
んなで持って
Makoto
いれば
back one day.
かな言い聞かせてね
I repeated that again and again, almost like a mantra.
それから私たち
Since then, we both carried ours everywhere.
ナスの押し花
Junko
のしおり
especially
を
treasures
肌身離
hers.
さず持っているのよ
Interesting. Interesting. So not in the closet, but then what was in the closet?
よしえさん、もうすぐ夕
Yoshie,
食の時間です
dinner
よ
will。be ready soon.
ほら
Oh,
so
already?
magic.
Well, time
おしゃべ
flies when
り
you
してい
get
ればあっと
chatting,
いう
doesn't
間
it?
ね
I've heard lots of stories. It's probably time for me to head out.
私から話せるのはこれくらいね
I
少しは
think I've told you
役に立
just
ったは
about
ずだ
everything. I hope it helps at least a little bit. Yes.
Yes, I mean...
ん
Hmm? Really, you shared much more than I expected.
あらそう
Is that so?
Junko
Oh, I
Yoko
wonder if
Yoko
Junko will be upset.
Uh-oh.
Oh, don't be nervous. I won't tell her.
She gets it. Very nice. Let's clear through my notebook here a little bit. On the day Aisuke died, visited Yorikiko village. My favorite color is purple. And then ran out. The fight started because her brother had plucked some flowers from eggplants that she was raising for him. She still carries a bookmark containing a pressed eggplant flower that her grandmother Yoshie made with her. So then we have Makoto. Disappeared on July 1st, same day as Junko's birthday. Yoshie found him that day sitting and staring blankly in the darkened tea room. Purple flowers were scattered around him. He ran away and did that. He was quiet and gentle with an honest personality. An easygoing person who was said to never get angry. He was supposedly scared to be out on the rural roads at night. But to search for Junko, he overcame that fear. Siblings had been in a fight after Makoto picked eggplant flowers from the plants she had been raising for him. I actually don't know. I don't know. Does it kill the eggplants to pick the flowers or not? I have no idea. Or is that where does the eggplant grow from the flowers? Which would make sense. In which case, yeah, he just basically killed all of the eggplants by picking the flowers. Oh no. She carries the same type of bookmark. We haven't seen the bookmark. We'll travel to the detective agency then. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I hope I haven't overstayed.
Don't be silly. I haven't spoken to anyone about Junko or Makoto in a long time. It was a pleasure. Just one more thing, Mr. Detective. Do you know what eggplant flowers represent?
I don't. No, I'm afraid I don't.
Well, they represent happiness, truth, and hope.
Happiness, truth, and hope. That's lovely. Thank you for sharing.
Junko taught me about that, believe it or not. She clings to the hope that if we hold on to the pressed flower bookmarks, one day Makoto will come back. I guess we both cling to that hope, actually. Now today, a detective with a bag of eggplants came to talk to me about Makoto. It feels like fate. Anyhow, I guess that's why I felt like I ought to tell you the whole story. I can't explain it, but I have a gut feeling that you'll be the one to finally reunite Junko and Makoto.
No pressure.
Well, if you need any more information, please feel free to come back anytime.
Thank you. I will. I'll get going now. Hello, I'm back. Wait, what? Thanks for all your hard work today. Let's get after it again tomorrow. Ayumi. Wow. Has Ayumi gone home already? Well, it's late, but I should probably wrap up today's investigation. Detective Kuze and her brother lost their parents at a young age, and were raised by grandparents. The grandmother, Yoshie, helped make sure that they were raised in a loving environment in the village. It sounds like they formed a close and supportive family. But something terrible happened on Junko's 9th birthday. Junko ran out of the house in tears because Makoto picked the eggplant flowers. Yes, she was upset because she had been carefully growing the eggplants for him. When he realized that he had ruined the surprise gift of eggplants that Junko had been growing, Makoto was stunned and didn't notice that Junko had ran off. Eventually, he realized that she was gone. So he left home in search of his sister, and he never returned. When Junko returned, still in tears, she said she thought it was her fault Makoto was gone. I'm still missing details about what happened while they were away, and why she returned alone. I've got to reveal a bit more of the puzzle, and I think I'll have to suck it up and speak with Detective Kuze herself. Of course, even if I have the courage, I doubt she'd be willing to give me the whole story. Oh right. After the fact, Junko was obviously upset, and Yoshie tried to cheer her up. Yoshie said that they crafted something together, right? What was it they made? I have to actually select the right one this time. This was... Ooh, Junko. Yes, bookmarks with pressed eggplant flowers. It sounds like both Detective Kuze and Yoshie each still carry one of the bookmarks around with them. And Yoshie told me that the eggplant flowers represent happiness, truth, and hope. Keeping that symbolism in mind, I wonder if Junko was inspired to become a detective because she believed her brother was still out there. Eventually, Junko grew up and moved away. A few years later, after Yoshie's husband passed, Yoshie moved to a retirement home called Relax Yukuriko Village. So for now, the Kuze family home is vacant, but the house will be demolished soon. Yes, that's right. And Detective Kuze stopped by recently for a final check of sorts. It must have been 3 days ago, or one day before Eisuke Sasuke's body was found. Wait, didn't Detective Kuze tell the neighbor that she had to get going because she'd be working early the next morning? That is interesting. But how would she know? Does that mean she's such a good detective that she knew there'd be a murder? Probably not, although it could have been a coincidence. No, that'd be crazy. I think I did pretty well today, if I say so myself. I feel like patting myself on the back. Now I need to decide on a plan for tomorrow. Oh. Too tired right now. Let's talk with Ayumi first thing in the morning and decide. Oh shoot, I almost forgot to charge my cell phone. Gotta be sure to do it now. Chapter 4: A Suspect. Good morning. Sorry I'm late. Oh, Ayumi's not even here. Is she out investigating? Oh. Is it his phone? Yes, hello. Hey, Conan. Late night for you yesterday? It was, yeah, but I learned quite a bit. Oh, really? I'd love to hear all about it. That's great, because I can't wait to tell you all about it. Where are you? Oh, sorry, I'm actually...
I'm actually supposed to meet with Mr. Fukuyama this afternoon.
Mr. Fukuyama? Oh, right.
He said that he talked to some more kids at the school, so... I'm hoping he's come up with something promising. Maybe a lead. I'm getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I hear you.
What are you going to investigate today?
I think I'll go to the library archives and look up how they covered those murders 18 years ago.
Sounds good. Stay safe. Bye.
Thanks, Ayumi. You stay safe too. Oh, and say hello to Mr. Fukuyama for... She's already hung up. Oh. She hung up. I guess we're going to the library. I'm off. Interesting. I'm wondering if the eggplants play another role in it. It would also mean, but it's in Fukuoka City. How close by is Yukiko Village, though? They must be somewhat close by. I'd like to head in and start investigating as soon as possible, but I probably ought to have a plan. The murders were 18 years ago, so I'm sure I'll have to do some digging. It doesn't make sense to dive in without a plan. Yes, that's right. I should check with Mr. Utsuki to see if he has any advice. I'm sure it's nice to have the cell phone. Oh, I can't. Ugh, I wanted to dial it. I wanted to see if the Easter egg was there. This is later, even. Oh, Conan. How can I help you? So, I'm about to go into the library to see what I can find about the case from 18 years ago. But I thought I'd check with you first, to see if you had any advice for researching or anything to avoid. Let's see. Well, look for serial girl murders, since that's what it was called, and pay close attention to the first case. You'll want to learn how the incident was reported, and how the news covered the story that year. Then, once you've gone over the material, you'll want to review your notes to see what jumps out. If something seems off, I'd recommend focusing in on that key point and investigating further. I think you'll find a lot of connections between the events of 18 years ago by the time you're done. I strongly believe that Makoto's disappearance is related to the murders, and I wouldn't be surprised if the information you uncover helps us get to the bottom of the Sasaki case as well. And that makes sense. Thank you, sir. I also have a strong suspicion that the urban legend of Emio, the Smiling Man, will play into it all. At least, that's my current assumption as I investigate. In any case, I must apologize for leaving the office frequently unattended. It's no problem at all, sir. Ayumi and I can take care of things. Thank you. I'm fortunate to have such excellent assistants. I'm counting on you both. Thank you, sir. I'll be off now. Talking with Mr. Utsuki is always inspirational. I've got a lot to live up to. Alright, let's go inside. Let's see. I'm guessing newspaper archives will be the best source of information for older cases. I have a year's worth of papers from 18 years ago to get started on. They're heavy. Anyway, I'll stop whining for now and check him out. March, April. Ooh. Let's check May, June. These are newspaper clippings from May and June of 18 years ago. Looks like the second murder took place in May, about 3 months after the first. So the first murder happened in February? Take a look at those clippings later. For now, let's dive into the details about the second case. Here we go. The victim was a 15-year-old girl named Sachiko Takagi. Because the second victim was also a young girl who was strangled in Kofuku City, the police announced early on that both crimes may have been committed by the same person. Still, they never did mention the detail about the paper bag. According to a neighbor of the second victim, the young girl in question came from a troubled home and was often seen crying alone at night. That checks out with the urban legend. The possibility of a serial killer seems to have sparked more newspaper coverage at the time. And the third incident happened in June. The third incident happened 1 month later? The third incident occurred in June. Here's the article about it. The third victim was Mika Inoue, a 17-year-old girl, another teen girl, just like the first two. She reportedly had a falling out with friends that day and left her school in tears. However, it seemed she didn't go straight home. Instead, she must have been attacked. The third victim was also from Kofuku City and was strangled in the same way as the first two victims. The article does mention the possibility of all three cases being connected by a common killer. Let's see what they say about the paper bag. Still no mention of it. Interesting. So the first one happened in February. I'm looking at the newspaper clippings from January and February of 18 years ago. The date on this article about the case is... I found it. A 17-year-old named Ayaka Hashizumi was found on the beach at Kofuku City, strangled. Interesting. Her house had burned down just the day before, and her father's body was found in the wreckage. Initial reports suggested that the father may have killed her and then himself. Later reports pointed to the possibility that a third party may have killed both father and child. That's interesting. Also, the article mentions a missing person who is reported to be close to the girl, but there's nothing at all in the articles about police finding a paper bag on the head of the victim. What caused the fire? And why wasn't Ayaka's father able to escape? Potentially already dead. And what about the missing person? There are a lot of missing pieces in this first case for sure. Interesting. It's weird that the second and third case were 1 month apart. But the second case was 3 months apart from the first case. And the first case has another victim attached to it, the father, who might have already been dead before the house burned down. It's a common thing you see in like freaking watching forensic files at 3 a.m. in the morning. Interesting. I kind of want to read all of them. These are newspaper clippings from March and April of 18 years ago. It seems there were occasional follow-up articles after the February crime, but not much coverage overall. There isn't any new information that can help me. And then what about this? July and August. These are newspaper clippings from July and August of 18 years ago. It seems like the serial girl murders garnered a lot of coverage. There were articles every day. Still, despite all the ink spilled, I'm not seeing many details that might help me actually solve the case. Interesting, but he went disappearing in August. So what about September and October? These are newspaper clippings from September and October of 18 years ago. Not many articles are reporting on the serial girl murders. Maybe there was nothing new to report by that time. And what about November and December? These are newspaper clippings from November and December of 18 years ago. I'm not seeing much coverage of the serial girl murders at this point. Just a few short mentions, typically in blurbs off to the side. If there was no new information, there wouldn't have been much for the media to report on. Okay, I've gone through a year's worth of newspaper clippings. While I'm thinking about it, I wonder if there's an article on Makoto's disappearance. Disappeared in July. Let's take another look at the clippings from July and August. Is there anything on Makoto? Here we go. Just a snippet of an article. 14-year-old boy reported missing from Yukariko village. Everyone in the village searched through the night, but the boy remains missing. Although the timing was curious, no one suggested a connection to the serial girl murders. That said, both Mr. Utsugi and Inspector Kamada seem to suspect there was a connection. I've got to get to the bottom of this. Okay, I can't investigate anything else. Let's look at this notebook. Ayaka Hashizumi, 17-year-old at the time, factory worker. She's working in the factory at 17 years old? That's interesting. The first victim of the serial girl murder spree 18 years ago. She was strangled to death using bare hands. She was killed 18 years ago in February. Her body was found on the beach in Kofuku City. The day before her body was found, her home was burned down, and remains that seemed to be her father were discovered. At the time, the police considered the possibility of a murder-suicide among other scenarios. Around the same time, one of her acquaintances disappeared. It's presumably the man that disappeared with the blood in his apartment. Police didn't release the detail that she was found with a paper bag on her head to the newspapers. I wonder if they're connected because they're not connected. Maybe they are connected, but I wonder if the serial killer wasn't the first murderer, but rather the second and third. Maybe the first and second cases aren't related at all. Mika Inoue, 17 years old at the time, the third victim of the serial girl murder spree 18 years ago. She was strangled to death using bare hands. She was killed 18 years ago in June. She lived in Kofuku City. Mika had a conflict with some of her friends and left school in tears. It seemed she was attacked on her way home. Police didn't release the detail that she was found with a paper bag on her head to the newspapers. And then, of course, we have Sachiko Takagi. Sachiko Takagi, 15 years old at the time. It's interesting. I wonder if it's just a localization thing. Because the range that was originally given was like 13 to 19, but the three victims are 2 are 17 and 1's 15. The second victim of the serial girl murder spree 18 years ago. She was strangled to death using bare hands. She was killed 18 years ago in May. Like the first victim, she was killed in Kofuku City. Police didn't release the detail that she was found with a paper bag on her head to the newspapers. It seemed like there was some turmoil at home, and she was often spotted crying alone. It's the second talking about and Ayaka's father. Ayaka Hashizumi's father. He died in a fire at his home the same day that Ayaka was killed. But they didn't find her body till the next day. Interesting. Okay, that was nothing. This one. Oop, wrong one. Years. We know that one. His disappearance wasn't a big story at the time. The article noted no suspected connection to the serial girl murders. Interesting. Here's what I've learned so far. The police announced that the serial girl murders were most likely committed by a single killer. Although it was never mentioned, each of the victims was found with a paper bag on their head. With that information, it seems obvious. Anyway, after the second murder, the first case came right back into the spotlight. And while media interest in the serial girl murders remained high for a while, it tapered off around August. Probably because there were no new leads or information. Also, no new victims, thankfully. If you don't count Makoto's disappearance. Now, why is that? Why is that, though? Unless Makoto killed the killer. But that's why it doesn't make sense. Who could the killer have been? And why did they stop after 3? 2 of which seem to be having home troubles. Well, that's an assumption of the home troubles when the father died. I read about a lot for the murders from 18 years ago, but now I'll focus in on some key parts. I think the first case is critical to the investigation. Mr. Utsugi thinks so too, as he told me to focus on it. First case. The first case did really catch my attention. It's the most curious of the 3. I should investigate a bit more thoroughly. The victim in the first case was Ayaka Hashizumi. Or Hashizume? Ayaka Hashizume. A 17-year-old girl. She was found the morning of February 16th in a secluded beach area of Kofuku City. A local fisherman found the body. Interesting. Local fisherman found the body. He had an airtight alibi and was immediately ruled out as a suspect. How airtight could it have been if it was a day later? Forensics reported the cause of death as strangulation with bare hands. Time of death was the night before. It turns out that Ayaka had quit her job at a local factory the same day she died. Interesting. However, her supervisor at the factory reported that she left on good terms and had already given notice. All of that said, I have a few major concerns with the facts of the case. They relate to two key people involved who had connections to Ayaka. One of the key figures was Manabu Hashizume, Ayaka's father. He and Ayaka lived together in Kofuku City. However, their house was destroyed in a fire the night before. Ayaka was found dead, and a body was recovered in the ruins. It was believed to be Ayaka's father. Believed to be, which means we don't actually have concrete proof. Could be alive. Some speculated that the father could have killed Ayaka before returning home and killing himself. But why? However, that theory didn't necessarily hold up to scrutiny. And what's more, the second and third murders a few months later further complicate the situation. Because even if Ayaka's father was guilty, he died in the fire. He couldn't have killed the others. Wait a second. Hold on. A large quantity of blood was found in the other missing man's apartment. We have 3 missing people and 2 bodies. And we only have a positive ID on one body, Ayaka's. Which would suggest that it's possible the body that was recovered from the fire wasn't Manabu, but was actually the other missing man's, who was killed in his apartment. And then his body was placed in fire. So my prime suspect, at least in this moment, is Manabu Hashizume. And the reason why the other murders may have happened several months is he needed to create an alibi, right? Well, alibi is maybe the wrong term. But he needed to create a gap, right? If he made it look like a serial killer, then it would obviously dismiss him as a suspect. It would reconfirm that he was the dead body. Because if he had actually killed Ayaka, he couldn't have killed the other two. Except now he's created a serial killer that does and doesn't exist at the same time. Last but not least, the information about the paper bag was never made public, which strongly implies that all of the victims were killed by the same person, right? And if it was never made public, and the other two aren't just copycats, or, well, not copycats of oneself, he would have been the only one that knew. And he would have done it to try and create the impression that it was a serial killer, even though it wasn't. It kind of wound up being, but it wasn't. And then I wonder if Makoto... Where did the Kuze family used to live? Would Makoto Kuze have known Manabu Hashizume? Could it have been the other key person? The other key person in the case never had their name reported by the media. The person in question was a young man who was often seen with Ayaka before her death. So is this not the missing person then? He hasn't been... No, this has got to be the same person, right? He hasn't been seen since she died. And when his apartment was searched, the police found a disturbing amount of blood. Obviously, the police strongly suspected him and went to great lengths to track him down. But why would they suspect him? Right? It couldn't have been Ayaka's blood, because Ayaka died by strangulation. So it could have only been his own blood, or Manabu's blood, assuming he killed both of them. Oop, sorry. But he was never found. This must have been the same person that Inspector Kamada was talking about. Interesting. It's entirely possible that Ayaka's murder and the home fire were unrelated, especially considering that all of the victims were young girls of about the same age. The house fire falls outside the category, and the persistence of the paper bag points to a serial killer. I wonder if the police had the same idea. I can't find any articles speculating along those lines, however. But what if that's only what the killer wanted them to see? Okay, let's review the information I've gathered so far. The first murder was 18 years ago, and the first victim was a girl named Ayaka Hashizume. The first murder was 18 years ago, and the first victim was a girl named Ayaka Hashizume. At the time of the first case, there were two persons of interest. The first one was Manabu Hashizume, right? Let's see. that's Manabu. The first one was Manabu Hashizume, Ayaka's father. The second one was... is it inside here? It was Inspector Kamada, right? I wonder if that's the one I have to hit, because I can't. They're not actually up here. They're not a random person, I don't think. No, they did give a name. Who was it? Oh, jeezums. Not Kohei. The missing man. All right, there we go. Yeah, he was in. We actually don't know how old he was, actually. The second was a man who was presumed missing. At the beginning, some speculated that Ayaka's father was the killer in a murder-suicide situation. The day before Ayaka's body was found, her father died in a fire. I kind of like how it lets you kind of fill stuff in a bunch of different ways. I feel like it also uses the notebook, and I mean, obviously the first two games were a little dated, but I like that it lets you use the notebook in a little more integrated way. Yes, that's right. The father was presumably killed by the fire that burned down his house. Meanwhile, regarding the missing man, was he another victim? Or could he have been the killer? It seems as though police considered both possibilities. He disappeared the same day that Ayaka was killed. There was a disturbing amount of blood. Yes, his home was drenched in a massive amount of blood. Inspector Kamada said that it would have taken devastating injuries to produce that much blood, including probably fatal injuries. So it's possible that he simply died. But where'd the body go? Alright, I think I made good progress today. I think that's about all that I can determine from my research so far. I'm glad I talked to Mr. Utsuki first. His advice helped me find the right path, but ultimately the serial murders remain unsolved. The police never found any conclusive evidence. Is there still a suspect out there that was never identified in the previous investigations? That's the other question. Will there be a big twist? Will it be someone we know? Like, personally? Could it be Utsuki himself? Probably not. I'm trying to think of who's directing everything. Now that I think more about the second and third victims, there was a common factor I hadn't considered. They were both seen crying before they were killed, which plays very much into the urban legend. But Ayaka wasn't, left on good terms. So those two... The urban legend about the smiling man. He always appears in a paper bag in front of a crying girl. I wonder if the first victim, Ayaka Hashizume, was also crying before she was killed. There was cause to suspect her father killed her. Maybe there was some deep trouble at home. Oh, it's getting late and I haven't eaten. I should take care of myself. Alright. Planet Coffee.
先輩、早速連絡
Thanks
し
for
ていた
reaching
だいてあ
out
りが
again
とうご
so
ざいます。
quickly.
水臭いことを言うなよ。
Of course, Tachibana. We're not strangers, right? I'm always here to help.
ありがとうございます。いい
Well, I
先輩
really
で
appreciate it. It's great to have a senpai like you.
そうか。
Oh, I do what I can. I'd sure like to think of myself as a good senpai.
俺もよかったよ。
Hmm?
それに俺だって。
As you know, I'm deeply troubled by Eisuke's murder. That's why I'm so eager to help you. If that allows me to guide you, just like back then, so be it. But I'm just one man trying to help.
先輩、ご協
Well,
力
thank
に
you for your
感謝します。
cooperation, Fukuyama.
早速ですが
I
先
want to be
輩、
respectful of your
何か
time.
分かったことがあったんですよね。こうして
I'm guessing
無
that
理
you
をし
do
てま
since
で
you're
時間を
taking
割いていただけたってことは、
accidentally went into fast forward there, sorry. I'm guessing that you do since you're taking time out of your busy schedule.
あ
Yes, well, I know you're busy too, so I'll make it quick.
いいか。
So the thing you've got to remember is,
中学生という
these are junior high
多感な
kids.
年頃。
It's a sensitive
い
time.
わゆる思春期か弱く。
They're still growing, which means they're not as strong as
そんな彼
adults.
らは間違いなく今回の事件で
This whole incident
俺
is
た
a
ち大
shock
人
to
には
their
理解で
system
きない形で
in ways we can't even
大きなショ
fathom.
ックを受けているだろう。わかるな。
You know what I'm saying, right, Tachibana? Yeah,
はい、
I think so.
一見して彼らは普通な様子だ。
It's like the kids seem normal at first glance, but in their hearts,
深く傷つき、
I know they're
叫
carrying a
び
deep
声を上げ
hurt.
ていることだろう。
It's almost like I can hear their souls screaming out. Oh.
生徒たちの様子は様々
It
だ。
feels like the students are all
中に
over
は
the
俺の授
place.
業中にイライラした
Some act
素振りを
out in
見
my
せる。
classes, and others
俺の上げ足を取って笑ったりする子もいる。
others have been laughing at me as if they don't take me seriously.
きっと不安の裏
But
返し
I'm
なんだ。
sure it's just the stress of the whole thing that's affecting them. Or kids.
俺はそんな生徒たちが愛し
I
くて
just
たまら
feel
ないんだ。
terrible for them all.
立花、
My heart breaks every time I think about it. I see.
立花。だから俺、
So, Tachibana,
まだ早い。
that's why I can't ask any of them about the case just yet. It's
今彼
too
らに事
soon.
件のことを尋ね、
Wait, you don't have any new information from the
生徒
students
たちか
after
ら
all?
話は聞けていないってことです。
あ、
That's
その通りだ。
right.
立花、
Sheesh, no wonder you're a
さ
detective,
すがは
Tachibana.
探偵だな。
へえ、じゃあ
So,
何の
what am I
話をし
here
て
to
くれるん
talk
だろう。
about?
立花、
Um,
ミルクティーが冷めた。
Tachibana, your milk
ちょっと
tea is
ゆっく
getting
りしようじ
cold.
ゃないか。
Please go ahead and enjoy it. We can just relax for a moment.
うん、
Hmm.
どうした立花。
Hey,
一服しようじゃないか。
Tachibana, just think of this as a little break. You can take his milk tea? That's a crazy
いた
thing.
だきます。
Alright, I'll have some.
どうだ立花、うまいだろここの
What do
ミ
you
ルクティー。
think, Tachibana? It's good, right? Isn't the milk tea the best? I hope I didn't just get drugged.
美味しいですね。
Oh, yes, it's actually delicious.
ここのティラミス
If
もお
you
すす
like
め
the
だぞ
milk
立
tea,
花。
you'll love the
お得
tiramisu.
なセットメニュー
What
が
do
あ
you
るし
think?
頼んでみる
Want
か。
to order a taste?
そうなんですね。
Maybe not today.
今日
そうか。じ
Okay,
ゃあ
okay.
次にしよ
Next time. Can I still take his? That would be weird.
う。よく聞いてくれ。
Listen, Tachibana. Eh?
教育現場というのは
Junior high is like a battlefield. and as a teacher, I'm like some kind of majestic knowledge warrior. Uh-huh. I turn to this milk tea in times of stress and fatigue, and it gives me a peace of mind. Or if it's payday, I'll go out and order tiramisu. This place is my oasis.
It must be nice.
Sure is. I just think. I wonder what kind of information he might share with me. I wasn't able to talk to any of the students, but I did hear some more about Eisuke from other teachers. Oh? What did you hear? Oh, I'll get to it. We're both busy people, so we should try to relax a little while we can. You get to the point, bud. It's so good. Bro, you gotta take a hint, man. This is not a date. Oh, okay. Here's what I've learned about Eisuke. He had a lot of friends, he got good grades, and he had a great reputation among teachers. He was never in trouble, really, a model student. Yeah, that's the same thing that all the students have told me. Do you have any new information, bud? I've heard about him having a conflict with I never heard about him having a conflict with anyone. No one held a grudge against him. Not that us teachers know everything about our students' personal lives, but I think most teachers would agree that Eisuke was well liked. Eisuke was an exemplary student. I suppose I did hear one story that caught my attention. Eisuke's homeroom teacher mentioned something that piqued my curiosity. Here's what Eisuke's homeroom teacher said. Apparently, Eisuke's grades hadn't been as good as usual lately. Oh? I thought his grades were impeccable. Well, he was applying to a selective private high school. You need top marks, and he wasn't there. Let's talk about his grades. Struggling home life? Potentially, if his parents weren't... Have we met his parents yet? I don't think so. Eisuke's homeroom teacher said that he should consider other schools if his grades don't improve. But Eisuke didn't seem concerned at all. That's dangerous in multiple ways. Really? A good student who suddenly doesn't care about getting into a good school? That's interesting. Yeah, well, junior high kids can be a bit unpredictable, can't they? That's one of the challenges we face as teachers, of course. It must be tough to do what you do. Oh, it is, but teaching is my calling. Teachers are not unlike priests, one might say. Yes, when I was in my 3rd year of middle school, one teacher said, "Is he changing the subject?" Excuse me, but do you have any other info about Eisuke? Other than his grades?
そうだな。
Let me think. No, that about covers it.
事件に結びつ
I
ける
don't
よう
have
な
any
話
other
は聞けなかった。
information that's relevant to the
すまない
case.
立場。
Sorry, Tachibana.
いいえ先輩
It's
あり
okay.
がとうございました
Thank you.
成績のこ
It
とは
doesn't sound like the student grades have anything to do with the case. I wouldn't be so sure about that. It reflects that something must have changed within his life, and then suddenly shows up murdered. I can't imagine his lower grades would have caused anyone to want to kill him. Unless he killed himself, but that's not what the police are saying happened, right?
はい
That's right.
状況から
I
見て
can't share many
他殺で
details,
あ
but
る
I
と
can
しか言いよう
confirm
が
that
ない
we
で
are
すね
investigating a murder.
いや、自殺だろうが他殺だろうが。
Well, whatever happened, poor Eisuke's gone forever.
これが現実なんだよな。受け入れるほか。
That's the hand we've been dealt. There's nothing we can do but accept it and move forward.
先輩
Fukuyama.
なあ、立花。
So, Tachibana.
はい
Yes?
調査の方はどうなんだ。
How's the investigation going? Overall?
君も知っての通り
As you know,
俺は
Eisuke's
佐々木の事件
murder has shaken
大い
me
に
to my
心を
core.
痛めている。何か進展があ
So
っ
I'm
たら
desperate to hear
差
if
し
you've
支え
made
のな
any
い範囲で
progress.
話を聞かせてほしいん
Please,
だ。
can you share any details with me?
それは無理なことだ。
That's not too much to ask, is it, Tachibana?
実は調査はほとんど進んでいません佐々
Well,
木英介
I'm
君と
afraid
い
I
う
don't
男
have
の
good
子は
news. We haven't made much progress. The thing about Eisuke,
先輩もおっしゃる通り
he's just such a
悪い
normal
評判
kid.
は全くあり
Like
ま
you
せん
said before,
家
he didn't
庭
have any
環境
obvious
にも
problems
何
or
の問題も
drama.
ないようですただ
And yet,
うん
hmm?
事件当
It's
日
just that on the same
帰
day
宅
he
し
was
た佐々木
killed,
君の様子が
he
明ら
was
かにおかしかった
supposedly
ようなん
acting
です
strangely.
Oh,
事件の当日。
is that right?
何があったのかは
Yeah,
ご家族にも
of
わ
course
から
his
ないまま
family's
だ
still
そう
in
です
shock.
Oh, we did talk to them, that's right. They have no idea what might have been going on. That's another question of, is the people in the rooms who we think the people are in the rooms, right? Because they mentioned that he locked himself in his room, but did he? Was that actually him? Hmm? That's right. Okay.
先
Fukuyama,
輩
ああ、すまない。ちょっと考え事をしてしまっていたんだ。
I'm sorry, I was just lost in thought. I'm sorry.
oh,
話してくれてありがとう。
Thank you for sharing, Tachibana.
俺にできる
I'll
こと
do
は
whatever
何
I
でもする
can to
よ。
help.
さあ、
Let's keep talking,
話の
shall
続
we?
きをしようじゃないか。
Okay.
福山先輩って不器用だけど
Fukuyama is a bit awkward, but I do think his feelings for his students are genuine,
先輩のできる範
Seems
囲
like
で
he's
頑張
doing
っ
the
てくれ
best
た
he
みたい
can,
だし
and he's shared everything he
佐々
knows
木君の
about
情報はこれ
Eisuke.
くらいかなそういえば
Still,
福山先輩
there
のク
was
ラスの
another
生徒
student
で
who was good friends with
佐々木
Eisuke
君
in
と親しかった
Fukuyama's
ってい
class.
う森本めぐ
I'm
みさんっ
thinking
て
of
子
Megumi Morimoto.
こうできてるのかし
I
ら
wonder if she's back at
事
school.
件以来休ん
She
でる
was
って
absent
ことだった
following
け
the
ど
murder.
先輩森本め
Fukuyama,
ぐみさんのことなんです
about
けど
Megumi Morimoto.
も
What do you want to know about Megumi?
立花は
I don't know anything, Tachibana. Don't know anything about your own
はい
student?
そうですけど
Uh, Okay, but
事件以来
I'm just wondering if she's
休んでるって
okay,
ことだったので
you know? Because she's been absent since the murder.
気になって。
彼女は森本めぐみは
Well,
あれ以来休んだまま
like you said, Megami has been absent, so I wouldn't know.
そうなんですか。
I
それ
see.
は心配ですね。
That's worrisome, isn't it?
あ
Oh,
とても心配だよ
yes, I'm very worried. Yeah, are you? This is basically another missing person, though, isn't it? If we haven't found this person.
佐々木の話はもういいのか
Is that all we have to say about Eisuke?
だってもうない
Well,
って
you
さっ
said
きおっしゃ
earlier
った
that
じゃ
there's
ないです
nothing
か。
more to share.
うむ
Huh?
森本は俺のクラスの学級委員なんだよ
Did you know that Megami is my class representative? I can't remember if I told you that.
はい、お聞きし
Yes,
ました。
I heard.
学級委員が休んだ
It
まま
must
だ
be
と
challenging for you not
何
to
か
have
と
her
困
there
るで
since
しょう
she's the
ね。
class representative and all.
ああ困った
Yes,
大い
it's
に
been
困った
extremely stressful.
ん
Extremely
そんなに困
stressful,
るんだ。
huh?
佐々木のことが告げられた朝礼があった日も登校していなかった
The
森
day
本
that
は
they announced Eisuke's death to the students, Megami wasn't there,
今日になっても
and she
全
hasn't
く
been
登
back
校してこないん
since.
だ佐々木と
She
仲
was
が良かっ
close
た
with
ってこと
Eisuke,
だか
so
ら
it must have been a
かなりの
terrible
ショックだっ
shock.
たに違いない
I'm worried about
心
her.
配だ森本のこと俺はとても心
I'm
配だ
really worried about Megami.
めぐみさん、事
Megami's
件発覚
continued
の当
absence
日から
is
ずっと
worrying.
休んでる。ん
Hmm?
昨日
Yeah,
朝
they
礼で
told
聞
us
き
at
ました。
yesterday's morning
びっく
assembly.
りしました。
I was shocked.
昨日の朝
They
礼で
announced that he died at the morning
亡くなったって聞い
assembly
て
yesterday.
本当びっくりし
I
ちゃったん
couldn't
です。
believe my ears. Right, but Megami's absent, but she doesn't known
あれ
anything.
生徒たちは佐々
That
木くん
morning
の遺体
assembly
が
on
見
the
つかっ
day
た
Eisuke's
当
body
日の
was
朝
found
礼で
seems key.
佐々木くんの
Of
事
course,
件を
that's
知
when they
った
told
っ
the
て言
students
っ
what
てたけど
happened.
福山先輩の話
But
だと森本さんは
Fukuyama is saying that
佐々木く
Megami
んのこと
wasn't
が
at
告
school
げられ
that
た
day.
先輩の勘違いかしら。
Did he really mean that, or did he misspeak?
先輩、
Fukuyama?
どうした
Yes?
立場
What's up, Tachibana?
先輩は森
You
本さ
said
ん
that
が
Megami has
佐
been
々
absent
木くん
since
のこと
before
が
the
告げ
morning
られた
assembly.
朝礼の日から
right?
休んでるっておっしゃいましたよね。
ああ
Yes,
だか
that's
ら何
right.
日も姿を見ていない
That's
こと
why I
になる
haven't seen her for days, Tachibana.
でも
But
生徒たちは
students learned
佐々
about
木くんが
Eisuke's
発
death
見
on the
され
same
た
day
当
he
日
was
の朝
found,
礼で事
right?
件を知ったんですよね。じゃあ森本さんは佐々木くんのことと関係なく休んでた
So
って
her
ことで
absence
す
didn't
か？
have anything to do with Eisuke. At least that day's absence, right?
何か別の
Was
理
there
由
some
があった
other reason she was
と
gone?
か。
おおなるほどそうかもしれないな
Yes, I see. You're a really sharp detective now, Tachibana.
でも
But I'm not sure. Hmm?
どうしてなのかな
I wonder why.
ん
Hmm.
今日の立場
You're,
いか
you're
にも
really
探偵
impressing me as a
って感じが
detective
する
today, Tachibana. Oh,
そうで
really?
すか？
あ
Yeah. Okay, let's focus more on Megumi.
森本さんがその朝礼の日から休んでることと先輩の様子が気になるわ。
I'm worried about Megumi's continued absence and about how strangely Fukuyama is acting.
そわそわしているように見えるの
He
よね。
looks so anxious. Let me examine Fukuyama.
先輩、森本さんのことを聞くと
Why does he
つか
tighten
な
up
く
when
な
we
る
talk
のね。
about Megumi? He did this the other day too.
そんなに見つめられたら
What are you looking at?
Oh,
福山先輩、
Fukuyama?
はい
Yes, ma'am.
私
I have a
何
strange
か変だと
feeling
思っ
that
てたんです。
something is off. Anytime I bring up
森
Megumi,
本めぐみさんの話題になるといつもそわそ
you
わ
seem
し
to
て
tighten up
落
and
ち
get
着きがなくなり
anxious.
ますよね。
Am I wrong?
そう見えるの
Is
か
is that what it seems like? No, no, that's not it. I don't feel that way. Yeah, Bud?
先輩、もし
Fukuyama,
かして森本
about
さん
Megumi.
Ooh, what?
森本めぐみさんは朝礼より前に佐々木くんのこと知っ
Did
てたんじゃない
she
ですか？
somehow know about Eisuke's death before the morning assembly?
Is she the one that found the body?
それってつまり
If so, it would mean...
Not necessarily that Megumi killed Eisuke, but may know the killer.
めぐみさんの知り合いが
Was Eisuke killed by someone Megumi knew?
なんて考えるの
It's a
は
pretty big leap to
今
assume
の
that
段
at
階
this point.
どんな可能性でも排除すべきでは。じゃあめぐ
Could it have something to do with
福
Fukuyama?
山先輩、
I guess that was not the right choice. Although I think that's a pretty big leap anyway to say this. I don't know.
Fukuyama?
はい
Yes. Yes.
学級委員の森本さんには先に知らせた方がいいって
You must have told Megumi about Eisuke before the rest of the class, since she's the representative.
そのせいで
But unfortunately, telling her first isolated her from the others, leaving her alone to face the cruel reality. And she must have taken it very hard. That's probably why she hasn't come back to school since. And you're probably feeling guilty about it. Am I right about any of this?
違います。
違うよ
No.
いくら俺だって
I would never do
そん
something
な
so
勝手なことす
selfish.
るわけないじゃない第一
First of all, we teachers didn't know about Eisuke's death until the moment before
朝
the
礼の直
assembly.
前だ前もって知
It
らせ
would
る
have been
っていうのは
impossible to let her know in
無理があるよ
advance.
そうだったん
I
ですね。
see. I'm
ごめん
sorry
な
for
さい先輩。
speculating like
勝
that.
手なこと言っちゃって。
いいんだ立花
It's all
そうや
right,
って疑問を
Tachibana.
もとに推理を
That's
する
what being a detective is all about, isn't it? Asking questions and speculating.
俺が教師であり
Just like I was meant to be a teacher,
君は
you were
探偵だ
meant to be a detective, Tachibana.
か
Yeah?
らな
Yeah.
ありがとうございます。
どういたしまして
You're welcome.
先輩が佐々木くんの事件を知った
So
のも
Fukuyama found out
生徒
about
たちが知
Eisuke's
った時
murder
と
at the
ほぼ
same
同じ
time
タイ
as
ミ
the
ングってこと
students.
ね。じゃあ
So then,
森本さんはどうしてその
why do you
朝礼
think
の当
Megumi
日
would have been
欠
absent
席
the
だった
day
んで
of
す
that
か？
morning assembly?
あ
Oh,
体調が良くない
she was out
ご家族
sick.
から連絡
Her
が
family had called that morning letting me know. That's convenient.
そういうことか。
I see.
そういうことだ。
That's really what it was, Tachibana.
でも、
I wonder if her
本当に
family was
そうな
telling
の
the
かしら。
truth. Hmm. Hmm.
先輩は森本さんの担任なんで
Since
す
you're
よね。
Megumi's homeroom
様子
teacher,
を見に行かれたりとか。
have you checked up on her since she's been out?
いや、していないよ。
No, I'm afraid I haven't. It's difficult for me to, visit her at her house. Why? Do you have a restraining order?
ん
Huh? Or is there about to be another murder victim?
森本が早く登校できるようになってほし
I
い。
just hope Megami comes back to school soon. She's in my thoughts.
うん。
驚いた。
Oh,
もう
it's
こんな時間
gotten
じゃない
so
か。
late.
立花と
Time
話して
flies when
る
you're
とあっとい
having
う
a
間だ
good conversation, right, Tachibana?
立花、君が悪い
Anyway,
が
I hate to
生
leave
徒
now,
たちが俺を待ってい
but
る
I'm afraid that my students are waiting for me.
もちろん、名残惜しい
I'm
のは
sure
分かっ
you
てい
could
るん
chat
だ
all。day long, but
そろそろ行かなきゃ。
I have to get going. My apologies.
はい。じゃあ
I
行きましょう
understand.
か。
Let's get going.
話を聞かせてもらったんだから。
I'll pick up the
この
check
感情は
since
こっち
Fukuyama
が
took
し
the
なきゃ。
time to meet with me. Why is the bill? Can I look at the bill?
話を聞かせてもらったん。
I wonder if is that just a hint to guide you where you need to go? But like,
先輩、ありがとうございました。こ
thank
こ
you,
は私が。
Fukuyama. This is on me.
おいおい、俺に恥をかかせたいの
Oh,
かな。
come on, Tachibana. You'll make me look bad.
でも、
Well,
君は後輩。
after all,
俺は
you were once my underclassman, and I am
先輩です。
my senpai.
だな。
That's
そう
right.
いうことだ。
And that's that.
調査に協力をしていただいた
I'm
上
really
に、
grateful for your
ご
help
ち
with
そう
the
にまでなるなん
investigation
て、
and for taking the
やっぱり
time, but
いいんだ、立花。君は後輩。俺は。
no other word, Tachibana. What am I again?
先輩で
My
す。
senpai.
じゃあ、
I guess I'll let it
Okay.
go. Okay.
俺のオアシスに来てくれてありがとう、立花。
Well, thanks for meeting me at my milk tea oasis, Tachibana.
やっぱり近い。
He's standing way too close, as usual.
先輩、ごちそうさまでした。
Of course, but I should thank you, Fukuyama.
それと、
Not just for the tea, but for the valuable information. I'm sure it'll help our investigation.
立花の役に立ったんなら何よりだよ。
That's great to hear,
喜ん
Tachibana.
で協力するぞ。
Call me anytime. I'm always happy to help.
本当ですか？ありになります。福山先
Yeah,
輩。
I might take you up on that, Fukuyama.
なあ、立花。
Hey, Tachibana.
はい。
Yes?
その頼りになる福山
When
先
can
輩
an
は
old senpai
次は
see his underclassmen again? Eh, Tachibana?
次ですか？
Again?
先輩がまだ何かを
Does
調
that
べ
mean
て
you'll
くれる
continue
って
digging up
こと
info
なん
at
で
the
すか？
school for me? You know, Ayumi, I don't think that's exactly what he had in mind.
ああ、もちろんそうだ。
Yes,
何をかというと
yes, of
そ
course.
りゃいろいろとだ。
I'll look into anything you like.
ありがとうございます先輩。
Great, thank you.
あ、でもお仕事
I
大
mean,
変なんです
I
よ
know
ね。
your job is stressful, and
やっぱり
I don't want to add more.
今日のお話
What
で
you've
十
told
分
me
です。
already is enough.
立花。確かに俺は忙しい。
Yes, I'm busy, but
南大山
I
中
know
学
I
校
have
の
the
教
unique
師の俺に
privilege
しか
of
で
being
きない
close to the kids at Minami Daisen Junior High.
生徒たちからは
As time
いず
goes
れ
by
話を
and
聞く必要が
feelings
あ
are
る。
less raw, I'm sure I'll have the conversations about what happened.
そこに何らかの
I
謎
could
が隠されているか
imagine
もしれな
I
いじゃ
could
ないか。
certainly imagine one of them providing information that helps unravel the mystery.
森本めぐみ
You
さん
mean
が
like the
休んで
real
いる
reason Megumi hasn't
本当
been
の理由
coming
と
to
かです
school?
お
Oh,
それもあるな。
yeah, that too.
立花、
You've got to
俺は
understand,
佐々木のために
Tachibana.
できる限り
I
の
want
こ
to
と
do
をしたい
anything
と
I
思ってい
can
る。
for Eisuke,
そしてそれが
and if it helps you out as well,
君の
that's
ため
even
になる
better.
ならなおさらだ。
ありがとうございます
Thank you,
福山先輩
Fukuyama. There's something going on.
いつでも俺に頼ってくれ。
You can always count on me.
また
I'll be
連
in
絡する。
touch, okay?
はい
Yes, that would be
よろしくお願いします
great.
気をつけて帰るんだぞ。立花。
Have a safe trip home, Tachibana.
ものすごい勢いで
Well,
走
he
ってっ
rushed
ちゃっ
off
た
full of excitement.
福山先輩
Good old
ほん
Fukuyama.
と変わらないな
He really hasn't changed.
ちょっと笑っちゃう
Always makes me laugh.
でも
Still,
めぐみさんのことを聞いた時の
I
先
can't
輩
get
の
over the
様子
way he looked when I brought up
やっぱ
Megumi.
り気になっちゃう
I'll have to get to the bottom of it. I'm back, Conan. Welcome back, Ayumi. Can I get you something to drink? On the way here, I stopped and picked up a few cans of milk tea.
また
Oh,
ミルクティー
more milk tea. This is a new brand. You like milk tea, don't you?
大丈夫
Yeah, it's
Arigato.
just... I'm fine for now, but thanks.
ねそれよ
Anyway,
り昨日の調査
tell
の
me about
話
how
聞
things
かせ
went
て
yesterday. Sure. Let me see. I told Ayumi everything. I learned about the Kuze siblings and their history.
久世さんのご兄
Wow,
弟に
I didn't
そんな
realize
過
they
去
had
が
a
あったなんて
history like that.
それでどう
What else did you learn?
18年前の
Did you
事
get
件
any
につ
more
いて
details about the
何か
cases
発
from
見があったの
18 years ago? Yes, I looked up a ton of articles about the serial girl murders at the library. I was able to confirm that the victims being found with paper bags on their head was never reported. However, after a lot of digging, I've identified a few aspects of the first case that have me puzzled. That was very loud. Hold on. For instance, there were two persons of interest that were mentioned. But one of them is dead and the other is missing. Oh? One was the victim's father, who died in a house fire the day before his daughter's body was found. The second was a young man who was friends with the victim. He disappeared, leaving only bloody stains. While we don't know the extent either of them was involved, we can't rule out the possibility that one of them killed Ayaka. Could the missing man have been the killer? Or could it have been someone else who happened to target girls of a similar age?
その線も確かにあり
Neither
そうよね
scenario seems plausible. Well, one way or another, we still have 3 victims, including Ayaka Hashizume, who were found with bags on their heads. It's gotta be the work of the same killer.
当時の警察が全力で捜査しても解決できなかった事件なんだから
Remember, this was a high-profile case that the police failed to solve, despite all their efforts.
そう簡
So
単
it
に
won't
謎
be
が解
easy
け
getting
る
to
と
the
は思え
bottom
ない
of
わね
it. But maybe the key
でも
is
佐々木くんの事件と
the connection
18
between
年前
that
の事件
case, Eisuke Sasuke,
エミオがつながる
and the
のかどう
legend
か
of
よね
Emio the Smiling Man. Speaking of that, I did find a common link between the older murders and the urban legend. In both the second and third murders, The victims were seen crying shortly before they were killed.
Emio,
Just like the
やっぱり何
Smiling
か
Man
関係がある
legend.
のかしら。
Maybe there really is a connection.
地道に粘り強く調査していきましょう。
Well, let's stay focused and keep after it, okay? Absolutely. I do wonder if the disappearance of Makoto Kuze is also related. I guess it's our job to find out.
私は
Well,
福山先輩から話を
I
聞い
had a
てき
good
たわ
long
よ。
chat with Fukuyama. Ah, and how did it go?
成績優秀な
Well,
佐々木くん
among
の
other
成績が
things, you
最
mentioned
近
that
落ちて
Eisuke's
きていたん
grades
だっ
had
て。
slipped lately. Is that so?
死亡してい
Yeah.
る私立高校
It
への
even sounds like he
進
might
学
have
が
had a
厳しい
hard
ほどだ
time
った
getting
ら
into
し
the
いんだけ
private
ど、
high school he wanted.
佐々木く
But
ん
he
本
also
人
said
は
that Eisuke
気にして
himself
いない
didn't seem
様子だったん
particularly
だっ
troubled
て。
by it.
先輩に考えがあって、
Also,
先生方
Fukuyama
に
was
しか
squirrely
話は
about
聞かなか
talking
っ
to
た
other
みたいだから、
students. He's only spoken with teachers so far.
今日分かったこと
And
は
I think
これ
that's
くら
about
いか
it.
しら。
Oh, wait.
佐々木くんと
There's
仲
one
が
other
良か
thing
ったっ
about
ていう
Eisuke's friend.
森本めぐ
I'm
みって
talking
いう
about
生徒の
Megumi.
欠席が
Anyway,
ずっと続いてるみたい
apparently
なん
she's
だけ
been
ど、
absent from school for a while now.
彼女、
In
佐
fact,
々木くんが発
she
見さ
hasn't
れた
been
日
to
から
school since
登
the
校
day
し
that
ていないん
Eisuke
だって。
died.
先生方
But
や
it's
生徒たちはみんな
Because
そ
the
の日の
teachers and
朝
students
事
learned
件
about
を
his
知ったっ
death
て
that
ことだ
morning.
から。
So you're saying she was already absent that day, but for other reasons.
そうなの。誰かが
That's right.
事前
I
に事
thought
件
maybe
のこと
someone
を
could
伝
have
えたの
told
か
her
もし
about
れ
the
ないって
situation
思
in
ったんだけ
advance.
ど、今のとこ
But
ろ
it
その
doesn't
可
seem
能性は低い
particularly
みたいなのよ
likely.
ね。やっぱりたまたま体
Maybe
調
she
が悪
was
かっただ
actually
けな
just sick.
のかな。
Yeah, maybe. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Hmm?
それじゃあ
Let's
今日
review
分
what
か
we
ったこと
learned
につい
today,
て推
Conan.
理してみましょう。
Good idea. Let's do it. Do I have all of the notebooks? I just want to clear this out. Phone before he died, Koi Takaguchi. His grades had dropped, and it looked like he might not get into a selective high school, but he didn't seem to mind. His name was never released. His whereabouts remained unknown. That's interesting that his name was never released, not even as a missing person. Since the day that Ayaka died, there's been no sightings or reports of him, which would suggest that he's dead. Then, of course, we have Ayaka. And living together with his father. I wonder. The morning that students were informed of Eisuke's death, she had stayed homesick from school. Learned about Eisuke's death at the same time as the students. By themselves. Did he kill Aya and then commit suicide after dumping her body? Not all of the circumstances add up. They don't. It seems as though Eisuke had been having a few problems lately involving his grades. His grades had slipped to the point that he was at risk of not getting into a top school.
そうね。
But he was
表面上
supposedly
は悩んでい
unbothered
る
about
様子は
that.
なかったみた
I
いだ
don't
け
know.
ど、何にせよ
In any case,
殺
I'm
人
not
事
sure
件
it
の
relates
被
to
害
him
者に
being
なること
murdered.
には結びつ
Megumi and Eisuke were close friends, but she stopped coming to school the day that his body was found. Why did she stop coming to school that very day? We don't know. don't know.
そうね。
Well, I did hear that she
体調
wasn't
不良ら
feeling
しい
well,
と
but
いう情報はあったけど、本当にそうな
I
のか
think you're right that we
まだ
don't
は
really know for
は
sure
っ
at
きり
this
分かって
point.
ないのよね。今日分かったこ
That's
と
all
が
the
こ
info I
れぐらいか
gathered
しら。
today.
宇津木先生はい
Even
ら
though
っしゃら
Mr.
ないけど、
Utsugi isn't here,
あなたが
I
い
feel
れ
like
ば
we're
安
making
心よ。
good progress on the case together.
まだまだ分からない
There's
こ
still
と
a
だら
lot of
けだけど、
unknowns,
二人
but I'm sure we
力
can
を合
work
わせて
together
頑
to
張りま
solve
し
the
ょうね。
case. Agreed.
うん。
Hmm? Hey, what's up?
うん。
Hmm? What's wrong with Ayumi? What's wrong? Ayumi? Hmm?
ごめ
Oh,
んなさい。
sorry. What is it?
何？
It just seemed like you were spacing out there for a second. Something on your mind?
うん。
Yeah,
森本さんに
there's
ついて
something about
もう一
Megumi
つ
Morimoto
思い出した
that I've
と
been
いう
wondering
か、
about.
き
Oh? What is it?
実は前々からなんだけど、
It's been bugging me for a while now, but
先輩に森本
whenever
さんの
her name
話を
comes
聞
up
こう
when
と
I'm
すると、
talking to
すっ
Fukuyama,
ごくそわそわしたり、
she tightens up
落
and
ち着か
gets
なくなったりす
anxious.
るの。
Whoa. I wonder if he's hiding something.
わかんな
I
い。
can't tell.
これまでも
I
何
asked
度
him
か彼
directly a
女のこと
number
は
of
聞いてみてる
times,
けど、
but his
いま
answers
いち
feel a
手
bit
応えもなくって。
evasive. If only we could talk to Megumi in person.
うん。
Yeah.
ところで、
By the
明日の
way,
予定は決まって
do
る
you
の？
have any plans tomorrow? I think I'm going back to the library. And this time, I want to do some research on urban legends.
わかったわ。
Okay, sounds good.
私は
As
そ
for
う
me, I
ね。
guess
佐々木くんや
I
森
might
本
just
さ
need
ん
to
のこ
wait
と
for
は
more
先
information
輩から
about
の情
Eisuke
報を
and
待った方がいいの
Megumi
か
from
も。
Mr. Fukuyama.
もう少し考
But I'll
えてみ
think
る
about
わ。
it some more. Good idea. Thanks. Chapter 6? Oh no, Chapter 5, The Paper Bag. Oh, I didn't realize. That was only... I thought I had done more than that. I only did... That was only the second chapter today. Okay. Let's head to the library and see what we can learn about urban legends. I know Mr. Utsuki is also looking into this angle, but I'm hoping to learn more about the Smiling Man. I saw a book titled Modern Ghost Legends at the library, but maybe there's one all about urban legends.
まあ、あの子ったら携帯電話なんて持ってるじゃありませんか。
I don't know who's saying that.
Well, the boy detective has his own cell phone. Hey, boy detective!
Huh? Is that... It's freaking Kamihara. Detective Kamihara, what are you doing here? Huh? I don't...
何キョロキョロしてんの？
What are you looking for? Detective Kuze has requested your presence. Really? Me? I'm afraid I'm gonna need you to come with me. Okay, I understand. Oh no, am I about to get showed out?
Wow! Didn't that feel like we were in a TV show?
I played the hard-boiled detective part perfectly. I guess. Anyway.
I think I could be an actor if this whole detective thing doesn't work out, right?
I am a handsome devil.
って自分で言うなよってな。
Maybe I shouldn't say that about myself, but I just did. Maybe you should be more concerned about the whole detective thing working out. Hey, what's up with you anyway, boy detective? Are you tired or something? Oh, no, nothing like that. I was just thinking about how energetic you always are. Right? That's me. Come on, get in, let's go! You gotta move. Detective Kuze is waiting for you. What does Detective Kuze want with me anyway? Well... Am I about to get chewed out? Running errands for Kuze. To be honest, she didn't even tell me what this is about. Oh, really? Nothing worth mentioning. So... Just to warn you, Kuze did not seem like she was in a particularly great mood. Oh, does that sound familiar? I can think. Detective Kuze couldn't have known that I went to see her child at home, and her grandmother. You've got a weird look on your face. What did you do? Oh sure, now you put on the poker face. If you really did something and she found out, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes, boy detective. I'm shaking just thinking about it. Can it really be that bad? Don't be too nervous. The car appears to be heading to the police station. She must know somehow. Don't be too nervous. You're looking a little pale, boy detective. Well, I'm not even gonna ask, but I bet you're nervous to have the mighty Detective Kuze call you in like this. Yeah, you could say that. I know that feeling you have right now. She can be just the tiniest bit harsh. Is harsh the right word? Maybe I mean strict. Good luck. I hope you survive. Kidding, kidding. Sheesh. I should save though at this point too. I haven't saved in a little bit. Yes, gonna save. Chapter 5. Whatever she says or does, keep your chin up. Got it? Let's not use the car. Why not? You've basically been kidnapped. Picture this. Kami, go pick up Conan Holmes. You know what happens if you don't write? What am I supposed to say to that, other than, okay, I'm on it? Yeah, I can imagine. Ooh, so my impression was good? Don't say that. That's not what I meant. Anyway, good luck. Hey, I could wish you the same. I set you up for that and you nailed it, boy detective. Anyway, my flawless impression aside, finally, I have to say that Detective Kuze is at least as hard as herself as she is on everyone else. But it's also a part of why she's such a good detective. Take it from me. She's 10 times harder on me than she is on anyone else. Except herself. Detective Kamihara. I guess you know Detective Kuze pretty well, since you're partners. Sure. I know her well. I know exactly what she's gonna get mad at me about before it happens. Probably because I'm completely useless. So it's like her job to give me a hard time. Completely useless. Your words. Well, apparently you're a useless shot, so that's probably true. There was this one thing she was really pissed about. I mean, that was life or death, so... Life or death? What happened? It's nothing. I'm just mumbling to myself. Nothing to worry about, boy detective. Just talking to myself. Just talking to myself. I don't think that's accurate. I do seem to remember hearing something about some kind of mistake he made. What was it? Oh yeah, Inspector Kamada told me that Detective Kamihara is a terrible shot. I can see why Detective Kuze is so hard on him. Gotta be tough to have a partner who can't shoot. What's that? Are you laughing at something? Oh, no, it's nothing. Okay, weirdo. Boy detective. So, Detective Kuze ordered you to pick me up today. And she's always tougher on herself and everyone else. Yeah, that's right. As soon as I set foot in the station, she ordered me to come get you. I didn't even get to eat breakfast. I was really hoping for coffee and a pastry. Oh. Why did I tell you that? It's so embarrassing. Come on, it's not that funny, boy detective. There goes my stomach growling again. Perfect timing, thanks, stomach. I can't believe she'd make me do this when I'm starving and I haven't had breakfast. What if Kuze could hear you say that? Why do you think she wiretapped the car? Don't tell her, please, boy detective. He is hilarious. Going on and on. Well, I'll let him. He seems to enjoy talking about Detective Kuze. Listen, I know I've complained about Kuze a bit, but she's got a gentle side. Somewhere. Is that so? Under the extremely harsh exterior? Yeah. I'm not surprised that most people think of Detective Kuze as severe. You got plans somewhere else, boy detective? I was headed to the library for research. Nah, sorry. I'd love to let you out here, but I don't think Kuze would like it, based on the look on her face. Hey, the library's pretty far. How are you planning on getting there? I was just gonna walk, but... Walk? Really, boy detective? Just loves walking, is that it? Why didn't you call a cab? Surely your boss would pay for it, right? I mean, cabs are expensive. Just calling one up costs money, let alone going anywhere. That's important to note. It does cost money to call a cab. Imagine having a cell phone and being too stingy to pay the bill. That's an interesting point as well. I thought the office would cover it. But whatever. Look, forget the phone bill. Just call cabs. Last time I wanted to call a cab, my cell phone battery was dead. Of course, the cab came anyway. Why did that cab? Yeah, boss called and said I had a fare out waiting at this bus stop. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Huh? What is it? What did you almost forget? I have to thank you, Detective Kamihara, for calling that cab for me the other day. Calling a cab for you? Huh? Was it not him? Yeah, remember when I ran into you by the bus stop, near the crime scene? That, yeah, I bet you were surprised. Yes, that's it. Anyway, it was really helpful, so thank you. Well, here's another surprise. I didn't call the cab. Detective Kuze did. Really? The same Detective Kuze? Yeah. See, I told you she has a soft spot. Well, how about that? You were right, Dice. What's that? Dice is your hero? Just kidding. Definitely not what I said. Anyway, I'll need to remember to thank the Detective Kuze later. Detective Kuze is tough, but she can be kind. She's actually kind of a dork. She's literally clumsy. Really, she's just a complicated person like anyone else. And despite my complaints, I'm happy to have her as a partner. Well, that's nice. I'm lucky to have a partner like Detective Kuze. Oh, by the way, how do you like riddles, boy detective? Riddles? I like them a lot, actually. Great! Then get ready for the Senpai Quiz. Detective Kuze, my senpai, arranged a cab for the boy detective. But when did she make the arrangements? A, after I left the bus stop, or B, while we were still talking at the bus stop. The clock's running. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. This is a tough one. It's while we were still talking, she was on the phone. While we were still talking at the bus stop. Ding ding ding. Well done. How observant of you, boy detective. I actually missed it because my back was turned. I do remember now that she seemed to be making a call from the car. That's all for now. Senpai quiz complete. There you go. Sorry, I only had one question for the senpai quiz. I'll have a new one ready for next time. Next time, you're gonna kidnap me again? Oh boy.
ごめん、先輩クイズ。
The more I hear about the two of them, the more it sounds like Kuze and Kamihara are polar opposites. I wonder what they talk about when they're alone. So, what kind of stuff do you and Kuze talk about when you're like on a stakeout?
Oh.
You really want to know?
知りたい。
What? Yeah, of course. Do I? I was just making conversation.
じゃあ、どのくらい
Yeah? Prove
知
it.
りたい？
How badly do you want to know? Well, now that you're acting like this, I really want to know. Kinda. Alright, I suppose I have no choice but to spill my guts to the boy detective.
それはね。
So, what we actually talk about is... None of your freaking business. What? Wow, now I'm actually dying to hear what they talk about.
探偵君、人の秘密を知りたいときは。
Come on, boy detective. Surely you know you've got to butter someone up to extract their secrets. Alright, let's try this one.
何度聞いても
Sorry, ask all you want, but I'm keeping my secret. Examine Kamihara. Now that I look closely, Detective Kamihara does have a handsome face. Is it rude that I've just been staring at him? What's up? I feel you're staring at me pretty hard, boy detective. Oh, sorry, it's nothing.
もしかして僕のファンになっちゃった？
Are you sure? You don't want to join my fan club
ファン
and
っぽく。
join in them calling out my name? Yeah. Yeah, if it isn't the most handsome detective on the force, Dice Kamihara. What? I thought I'd get a better reaction than that.
もう正直者
Oh,
な
you're
探偵
messing with me, aren't you, boy
僕も
detective?
すっかりいい
Hey,
気分。
I'll take it. I am handsome. Is it really that easy?
じゃあ約束通り教えてあげるね。
Well, since you're so nice, I suppose I'll bestow my infinite wisdom upon you.
先輩と僕が話す内容
Detective
といえば
Kuze and I usually just stick to talking about ongoing cases and investigations. But hey, we do chit-chat every now and then. I'm trying to imagine a casual conversation with Detective Kuze. Yeah, right? You wondering what Kuze and I talk about when we shoot the breeze? I don't know. Usually it's don't be late again and you drink too much. And don't bring your gun, Kami. That sort of stuff. Would we call that chatting or scolding? Alright, one moment. I'm gonna get something to drink. So if I don't mute the mic. I guess Detective Kuze's small talk isn't really that small. It's pretty serious usually. But you can always leave it to me, Dice, to lighten the mood of any conversation. Oh, wow. How would you do that? Oh, it's easy. I'll be like, that place has great coffee, or this is the candy I loved as a kid, and so on. I have a hard time believing that these topics work to lighten up Detective Kuze. Oh man, talking about food just made me hungry again. Most handsome detective on the force, huh? But is it true? Am I really that handsome? He's loving this. You know, he's starting to remind me of Heikichi. Don't tell me he's Detective Kamihara's grandfather or something. There's some interesting callbacks to the previous games in that. Because I think Heikichi was from the first game, The Missing Heir. I could be wrong about that. So, Detective Kuze likes that kind of small talk? Oh, sure, and she loves snacks. Not just talking about them, but eating them. She's even been like, well, if it's so good, why don't you go buy me some right now? So, of course, I gotta do it, right? Wouldn't you? She's got him wrapped around her finger, but I bet he welcomes a break from her intensity. If Detective Kuze asked, I'd jump up and go seek out her favorite candy right now. Interesting. Well, it was kind of fun, so whatever. Are we almost done here? Oh, this is so cool. So the other day I bought some candy and there was a prize inside. Detective Kuze was there, so you know I'm not making it up. I was like, can I get another? Wow, he's like a child. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, I was happy to get a prize as a child, and I'm happy to get one now. And I'm pretty sure Kuze was obsessed with the same sweets when she was a little girl. Oh? It's nice to hear that she's got a more human side to her. Also, if they were both talking about their childhoods, I wonder what kinds of things they discussed from when they were little. Maybe even heard something about Makoto. Detective Kamihara, do you know anything about Kuze's brother? He's been missing for 18 years. What? Oh. Uh-huh. What was that reaction? Detective? That question seems to have shaken him up. Oh, actually, you know what? One time, Kuze and I talked about what we wanted to be when we grew up. Like, when we were kids. Of course, she turned out to be an absolutely lethal detective. I'm kidding her, but her answer was surprising. She wanted to be a florist. Cute, right? Oh? What about you, boy detective? Did you always want to be a boy detective? Me, I've always been into cars. Really anything with wheels that drive past. I wanted to be a driver. And that's why I have licenses for literally everything now. You know cars, commercial trucks, and motorcycles? I even have my marine license? Kamihara. I mean, he would have been too young, but motorcycle? That's interesting. You know, cars, commercial trucks, motorcycles. I even have my marine license. I see. Motorcycle license. Oops, here we are. Welcome back to the police station. Well, here we are. Detective Kuze's waiting in the room at the end of the hallway there. Great, thank you. Don't worry, she doesn't bite, usually. Good luck, boy detective. See ya. Yeah, see ya. Dang, he left before I could ask a follow-up question about motorcycles. And I didn't get an answer about Makoto. But that look he gave me when I asked, it tells me something. I guess I also failed to ask about Eisuke's case, even though we spent all that time together. But he said before that he couldn't really talk about the investigation. That makes sense. So he probably wouldn't have told me much anyway. Well, let's go see Detective Kuze. Pardon me. Come on in. Hello, Detective Kuze. Hello. Sorry to call you out of the blue. She seems more tense than ever. No, it's okay. I hope you don't mind if we start with a few questions. What are you snooping around for anyway? Oh. So, you know that I went to Yukuriko Village? Okay, I'll explain. Let me ask you first. Your brother, Makoto, has been missing for 18 years, is that right? And around that time, there was a series of murders of young girls, which could be related to Eisuke's case. That's why I went to go see your grandmother. I knew it. I know it was a bit sneaky. I apologize. No, I don't blame you. You're just doing your job. I feel bad for putting that kind of burden on your grandmother. I am really sorry about that. Listen, my grandmother said that she was happy to talk to you. Oh, that's great to hear. One thing I was wondering, how did you find out where my grandmother lives now? Oh, well, the first place I went was your childhood home. My childhood home? Right, and I met a neighbor, Mr. Tayama, who was very helpful. He told me that she had moved to the relaxed Yukuriko Village retirement home. Good old Mr. Tayama. That's all I wanted to ask. Sorry for the trouble. Thank you. Huh? I thought she was going to ask how I found her childhood home. Why didn't she ask about that? That's it? Yeah. She seems guarded somehow. Oh right, she must have remembered that Mr. Utsuki has been to her house before, so she probably assumed that he told me where she lived. But I don't think so. I haven't worked with any PIs before. I remember her denying that she ever met Mr. Utsuki. Why would she do that? Has she genuinely forgotten, or... I guess I should take this opportunity to ask her about it, even though it makes me nervous. Detective Kuze, could I ask you a question? Mr. Utsugi told me where your childhood home is, so I went and checked it out. Anyway, he said that he met you 18 years ago at that location. But you... Like I said before, I don't know Mr. Utsugi. That's all there is to it. Interesting, 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 and interestinger. Whoa, the look on Detective Kuze's face. It's like she just stiffened up. Feels like she's trying to keep a level head, but based on her response, I think she's lying about not remembering Mr. Utsuki's visit. So the day that Makoto disappeared, Kuze returned home alone, and according to Mr. Utsuki, she seemed terrified. There's something about it that still bothers me. I don't know if she's willing to say more, but I should at least ask her about Makoto. Detective. Yes? If you don't mind, I have a few questions about your brother Makoto. I do mind. What you got from my grandmother is all you're going to get. I'm not open to reminiscing. So enough about me and my brother, got it? Yes. I figured, but it was worth a shot. I told you I'm not open to reminiscing. What to do? What to do? She doesn't seem like she's in the mood to answer any questions. I might have to leave without any of the answers I need. I should probably get going. Sorry, but I thought of one more question for you. Yes? Did you find any useful information about the Sasaki case? Why? Is the investigation not going well on your side? Sorry, it's confidential. I can't say anything more. I suppose. So I understand that it doesn't seem fair, but it might help if you shared anything you found with me. I suppose part of our job is helping the police. Well... One of my colleagues is researching more about Eisuke's history and relationships right now. And as for my findings, I have an eyewitness who saw a motorcycle parked near the crime scene on the night of the murder. Really? A motorcycle? Are the police aware of the motorcycle? No. First time hearing of it. The eyewitness account places it at about an hour after the estimated time of death, so possibly irrelevant. Where did you get this information? I talked to a cab driver at the scene. He was the eyewitness. He said that lots of riders stop to go He said that lots of riders park on the side of the road at night for reasons.
わかったわ。ありがとう。
Got it. Thanks. Of course. I hope it's helpful.
本部が把握しているか確認
I'll
して
be
おく
sure to
わ。
pass that info along. Hmm.
本部が把握しているか確認しておくわ。
Same thing. Okay. I didn't realize the police didn't know about the motorcycle. I bet they'll question the cabbie now. Ooh. I've got an idea. I could try thanking her for calling the cab for me. Yes. Hey, so... Yes? You're the one who called the cab for me, aren't you?
Huh?
How did you know? Well, I just started to say thanks. Or I just wanted to say thanks. It was a big help. It was nothing. Don't thank me. Huh? Well, that's not true.
他に情報はないのね。
That's it, huh? No other info?
お互い仕
In
事に
that
戻りましょ
case,
う。
let's both get back to work. Right. She looks kind of uneasy, almost like she's embarrassed about something. I know she's got a scary reputation, but I think Detective Kamihara is right. Deep down, she's a vulnerable, awkward person like the rest of us.
先輩、あの
Hey.
紙袋の鑑定結果が出ました。
Hey, partner! I got the results from forensics on that paper bag. Oh? Inspector Kamada gave me special permission to see the results of the forensic analysis on the paper bag. This is the actual bag that was found on Eisuke. It's even creepier to see in real life. Let's get started, shall we? Of course, I'll get straight to the results of the analysis. The bag in question is clearly old, but after running a detailed scan, we can confirm that the material is a perfect match with the paper bags found in the serial girl murders. A leftover? Oh? What? But does that mean... Are we dealing with the same killer from 18 years ago? It seems likely that some of the same people would be involved. I think you're right. Well, it sounds like we need to officially reopen those cases. Sir, before you continue, I have one additional finding to share. The paper bag found on Eisuke. We can confirm it's the same type as the ones found on the second and third victims 18 years ago. But it's different from the first victim? However, because the first victim is a different crime. The paper bag found on the very first victim 18 years ago doesn't match any of the other bags. Right, because it was different. It was a different crime. Potentially done by a different person, but at the very least, it's a different crime. And the other murders were used to obfuscate. But then why start again? Oh. How can you be sure? Well, not all paper bags are made the same way, believe it or not. Each manufacturer uses a different formula. The variation can be quite substantial. Thank you for the report. Are you ready to share the results with the whole department? Yes, sir.
As for you, I apologize, but I'll need you to wait here for a moment. We have an important meeting.
I understand. So it turned out that the forensic analysis of the paper bag revealed a new clue. And Inspector Kamada is meeting with his team to review the findings. It might take a while. Why don't I review my notes and the new information I've learned? I think I'm right that the other crimes were either done as a copycat or to obfuscate the true nature of the first murder. My guess right now is that Manabu didn't die in that fire. And that was actually the missing man whose body was discovered. That's my current hypothesis. We'll see where the game goes, and if I'm wrong. Okay, let's get to it. Based on forensic evidence, the case from 18 years ago and the current case are very likely to be connected. Right, because the paper bags match, there's a good chance the cases are connected. We also know that the paper bag in the first murder doesn't match the others. That means the first victim might have been killed by someone else. Perhaps Ayaka Hashizume's father killed her, and the other cases were copycat killings. Copycats are, as I said, I think, to obfuscate the nature. Of course, that's just one of countless possibilities. I think that's about all that I can deduce for now. Although, I should say, I was really fortunate to hear the forensic report on the paper bag. I've got to thank Inspector Kamada. And it's fascinating that different paper bag manufacturers all make paper bags differently. Heh, who knew paper bags could be interesting? Anyway, I don't think Kamada Kuze or Kamihara is likely to be back anytime soon. I'm the only one here. I wonder what Mr. Utsuki is looking into now. Probably call him up. First, let's go through some of these stuff. Composition is different. Well, no, his composition matched. She does remember. Well, I'm pretty sure she remembers. The first victim. The paper bag found on her head was not a match for those found in the other serial girl murders or the one found on Eisuke. Ukinoe, we know that it matches the one. Detective's partner, he knows a lot about, he does seem to know something about Makoto Kuze. And he knows, and he has a motorcycle license. I hope Daisuke isn't involved in this. I really do. Yeah, alright. Oh no. Oh, I should let Mr. Utsuki know about the forensic results of the paper bag. Oh, it's you. What's up? We just got the report from forensics about the paper bag found on Eisuke's head. Apparently, it's a perfect match for the ones found on the second and third serial girl murder victims. Oh? And what about the first case? Not a match there? That's right. The bag from the first murder was different. I see. This could be significant. Great work. Keep up the investigation. Thank you. I will. It seems like they're still in discussion. I think it's a good idea to continue reviewing what Kamihara and Kuze have told me. I should take some time to organize my thoughts and findings from today. When Kamihara is alone with Kuze and they're not talking about an active case, he said they sometimes have friendly chats. For example, they talk about the candy they loved when they were kids. Since they've been known to talk about their childhoods, maybe they've talked about Makoto. He seemed to brush me off when I asked about it, though. But what did I learn? But what I did learn is Kamihara is licensed to drive cars, commercial vehicles, boats, and motorcycles. Snowmen. I don't know, dude. I wonder how crazy it gets if you don't. Because it hasn't often like recycled the answers to me. I wonder if there are different endings to this game. I'm going kind of mostly completely blind into this because I don't want to know. I just want to play through, make the choices I make, and then maybe go back and do something with more. You also have to be able to spell to play this game. Kamihara is licensed to drive cars, commercial vehicles, boats, and motorcycles. Ah, that's right. Kamihara is licensed to drive motorcycles. But aren't all police officers licensed to ride motorcycles? That was my impression. I wonder if there's anything I can deduce from my conversation with Detective Kuze. Holmes, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. So, have you decided on a plan? Yes, we're going to proceed based on a new hypothesis. But unfortunately, I can't share it with you at this time. I apologize for the tough circumstances. It's okay, I understand. This case is anything but straightforward, and it can be tough to accept guidance from HQ. Anyway, that's a big part of why we need your help. We're counting on you. Yes, sir. I'll do my best. I need to get back to HQ now. Apologies again for keeping you waiting. Oh, and I know Kuze called you here, but she and Kamihara are already both back in the field. I see. That's okay. It was very helpful to talk to the both of them. I suppose I should get going. Of course. Be careful out there and see you soon. Hello? Who else is here? Oh, sorry, there's one last thing. There's someone I'd like you to look into. A certain man. A certain man? Same day, 2:21 p.m. in the Seinen region. Are we... I'm here in the Seinen region. There's someone here who may hold the key to this case. Why are you digging into this ancient history, huh? You some kind of reporter or something? Wait, you're that guy from the magazine, right? No, I'm just a curious person. You sure about that? You strike me as some kind of reporter or journalist. No, I assure you, I'm just an amateur with too much time on his hands. Fair enough. I'll stop prying anyway. It's no problem, but thanks for chatting. I'll be on my way now.
いい記事を書いてくださいね。
I hope you write a good article. Just kidding. So the day after the forensic reports on the bag was completed, the police released some details to the public about the murder of Eisuke Sasaki. However, while they mentioned that he was found with a bag on his head, they didn't mention the smiley face. I'm sure that detail was too lurid for the general public, but still. It seems the urgent legend of a smiling, paper bag-wearing murderer is roaring back to life. People are talking about Emio, the smiling man, at water coolers all around the city. 3 days later. It's been 3 days since the police released a statement. We're now seeing an impact in the city. Oh my gosh, what the fudge? What the heck, dude? Even the pharmacy mascots are wearing paper bags. That's kind of creepy, man. Conda Bookstore? Hold on a second. Conda Bookstore? I've heard that all the books about urban legends have been flying off the shelves lately. Freaking Conda Bookstore. That's a reference. I'm pretty sure if I have the name right. That's a reference. To the to the games in general. Nothing of particular concern here. Nothing of particular concern here. I mean, she kind of looks scared, but like... Maybe I should just shout for the smiling man himself. Who knows, maybe he'd show up. Just kidding. Occasionally I'll hear a car drive by. Sensational story spreads like wildfire, doesn't it? I'm on a main street in the city near the Utsuki Detective Agency. It's a familiar place, but the city as a whole feels different these past few days. And this person seems kind of... Same old convenience store, regardless of the smiling man mania that's going on. It's comforting in a way. Someone's calling me. It's Ayumi. Hey Ayumi, what's wrong? There's a segment on a TV show I'm watching now about urban legends. I bet it's about the smiling man. Oh, well, I'm almost back to the office. I'll see you soon, okay? Okay, be careful. Hey, Ayumi, I'm back. Welcome back. Check this out.
エミオというのは奇妙な袋をかぶっているんでしたね。
Fascinating. He's the one who supposedly wears the strange paper bag, right? The rumor going around is that he placed similar bags on the children he killed. Toru Osawa. We've put together a recreation of what those bags might have looked like for you. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh. Oh. Well, It's really creepy. And some of them are so small, oh dear. Who was that? Well, the rumor going around about a child version of the Smiling Man as well. So that's our guy probably, or at least related. Manabu, maybe? A child, my goodness. That's the paper bag that I gave to Emiko. What the fudge does that mean? That's the paper bag that I gave to Emiko. Of course, the etymology of the Smiling Man is fascinating as well, sometimes known as Emio. Emiko. What the fudge? Like, we're not like in like jump scare territory, but the stuff is definitely creepy vibes. That was Professor and Urban Legend researcher Toru Osawa. Thank you very much, Professor. That was creepy. Yeah. But I understand why people are fascinated. It must feel like the Smiling Man urban legend is coming to life with Eisuke's murder. Did they mention Eisuke specifically on the talk show? Yeah, just before you got here. They said a young boy was killed in Kofuku City. I see. And who is Emiko? Yeah, so anyone who knew Eisuke would know they're talking about him. Right, well, in that case, maybe someone who knew him will come forward with some new info. Yeah. I just can't believe how much attention this case is getting. But I guess the Emio legend, the Smiling Man, is pretty famous. True. But when a real person is involved, like poor Eisuke Sasaki. Yeah, it's sad. Something about Ayumi. It seems like she's a little down in the dumps. I'm worried about Megumi with all this going on. Everyone's talking about the Smiling Man, and she's just devastated about losing a close friend. Yeah, losing a friend. What a nightmare. Just when I was thinking she seemed a little off today. I wonder if all this reminds Ayumi of Yoko. When I started talking about how Megumi must feel, it seems like she must have thought about it. Maybe we shouldn't have watched that show. Of course, which is this is all a reference to the second game. Lost a good friend Yoko Kojima in an incident that occurred in a previous case. Yeah. She probably doesn't want to talk about it. I want to cheer Ayumi up somehow. Hey, Ayumi. I know we're still missing a lot of pieces, but let's put our heads together and see what we can figure out. You know, for Eisuke and for Megumi. Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's do our best for them. Great, so let's review what we've learned so far. Can you help me?
Yes, of course.
ね
Before we start, Conan,
え、ありがとう。
I want to say thank you.
Thank me for what? We haven't started our review yet. Give me a chance to be brilliant, okay? First, the cause of death in the Eisuke Sasaki case was asphyxiation from being strangled with a cord-like object.
そうね。
Right. Eisuke was found with a bag. Did I spell it out? Nope, I didn't find it. Paper bag.
そうね。
Right. Additionally, there's an urban legend that strangely mirrors this case. That urban legend is known as the Smiling Man. It's usually called Emio, the Smiling Man. Of course, the urban legend isn't the only strange similarity to this case. There are a number of similar cases 18 years ago. Those were known as I think I can go to one of these ones. Yeah, serial girls. That's right, the serial girl murders. In the serial girl murders, there were 3 female victims. They were Ayaka Hashizumi, Mika Inoue, Zumi, and what was the other one? Why am I blanking on their names? No, it was Sachiko. Yeah. Ayaka Hashizume, Sachiko Takagi, and Mika Inoue, all teenage girls. Around the time of the serial girl murders, there were also 2 significant missing persons. The missing persons were Manabu Hashizume and the missing man. Right.
違うわよ。
No, not right.
行
There's
方
missing
不明
man
の
and
男と久世刑事のお兄さんの
oh,
誠さん
sorry.
でしょ
Oop, I messed that up. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Oop, I messed up. Sorry. I'm not perfect. Well, there goes that run. Regarding the victim, Eisuke Sasaki, he didn't seem to have any enemies that wished to do him harm. But he did have a problem. And that problem was getting into a good high school. Sorry. Emiko. Interesting. Sorry, I'm still thinking back to the... We get to see someone related to it. Emiko. What about Emiko?
そうね。成績が落ちてきてたのよね。
That's right, his grades were slipping. Last but not least, we got the forensic report about the paper bag found on Eisuke's head. The paper bag was matched the 2nd and 3rd bags found in the murders 18 years ago. There was something notable about the first paper bag found 18 years ago. It was different from the bags found on the other victims.
ええ。最初だけ別の紙袋だったのよ
That's
ね。
right. The first paper
So
bag
stay-
was different, and the 2nd and 3rd bags matched
今
each
回の
other.
事件の紙袋は同じ種類だった。
Putting all the information together, here are my thoughts after hearing the forensic report on the bag. Since the bag found on Eisuke matched the 2nd and 3rd bags found 18 years ago, we should assume that those cases must be connected. Yeah, I think you're right. Here's my theory about why the first paperback doesn't match the others in serial girl murders. The killer in the first case had to be someone else. It's possible. Interesting theory. Seems like you were a little rusty today, but you shook it off. Thanks, yeah, I'll try harder tomorrow. So let's talk about where we go from here. I'd like to do some more investigation into the case of the missing man from 18 years ago. You mean the one who was seemingly badly injured? He's still missing, right? That's right. Inspector Kamada asked me to look into him. Frankly, I'm not sure where to begin, but I know Kama's counting on me. Do you get to use a nickname for him now? Are you close friends with him like Mr. Unsky is? In all seriousness, it's a tough assignment. I don't even know the man's name yet. Really? Yeah. Inspector Kamada seemed busy at the time. He asked me to come back later for more details. Oh, is there something wrong? Well... I'm sorry, but Inspector Kamada isn't in right now. He's having a hard time at the moment. Oh, he's still out for the whole day? Yes, I'm sorry you came all this way. I haven't actually been able to catch Inspector Kamada in person since the day we got the paper bag results. I've been down to the station several times. And he wasn't there? No, I haven't seen him. And when I ask around at the station, everyone kind of shrugs. That's concerning. Yeah. Maybe he's just super busy with the investigation. Yeah, I guess. I'm getting a bit antsy. I can't help him if I can't see him. Anyway, I'll give him a little space for now and use this time to get my files in order. Oh, I should make some coffee while I'm at it. Do you want some? How would you like it? Actually, I'm on my way out. Oh, could you be going to... It's not like it's a big secret. I was about to tell you before you started acting weird. The suspense is killing me. I'm going to Megumi Morimoto's house for a chat. Oh? Wait, what? If nothing else, maybe my presence can offer her a little comfort. Oh, that sounds good. Woo. Woo. I'm just relieved that Megumi is feeling well enough to talk to you. Well, I'm actually going to talk to your mom first. I don't think Megumi is ready to talk yet. That makes sense. It seems like she's been struggling for a long time. I mean, I'll definitely try to check in on her as well. Anyway, I'm off. Good luck and be careful. Chapter 6, Existence. The Morimoto family home. Megumi Morimoto, a good friend of Eisuke, has been absent from school since his death. She was at home when the other students learned what had happened. That's everything Fukuyama knew. I'm here to see if I can find out more.
めぐみさん本人から話を聞ければいいん
I'd
だ
love
け
to
ど、
talk to Megumi herself,
さすがに難し
but
い
that's
か
likely
な。
gonna prove difficult.
はい
Yes?
こんにちは。
Hi,
先日お
I'm
電話
Mayumi
しました。
Tachibana.
立花です。
I called the other day.
ああ、立花
Oh,
さん
Miss Tachibana.
今開けるわね
Of course. Hello.
まさか
I was
さんから
surprised
ご
to
連
hear
絡
from
が
a
あるなんて
private
思ってもいなかっ
detective.
たので驚きましたよ。
突然のご相談で
Is
ご迷
now
惑
a
をおか
good
けしてす
time?
みません。
I don't want to inconvenience you.
あ、いえいえ
It's no
全
problem
く
at
問題ない
all.
です。私で
I
少
just
しで
hope
も
I
お
can
役
be
に
of
立
some
てれ
help
ば
to you.
と思いまして。
ありがとうございま
Thank
す。
you so much.
ご協
Your
力
help is
に感謝します。
appreciated. Alright. We're on chapter 6. Alright. We're on chapter 6. I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. It's interesting. So you have the first picture. We have a name that we've never heard before, Emiko, and a mystery man who we may or may not know who the identity is. We just don't know it. It's interesting. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know where it's exactly going. Like I said, I still have my theory. I think Manabu is still alive, if I had to guess. At the very least, I would say, if I had to guess, the father of Ayaka is not the one that died in the fire, and it's the missing man. Could be dead wrong, could be a red herring, but that's what I think it happened. And then if the other two are copycat killings, but were they done? Were they done by the same person to obfuscate? But then presumably someone that appears to be a Emio gave a bag to a person named Emiko. It's interesting. I'm just not entirely sure what's happening. Interesting. Well, with that, we'll pick this back up and we'll see where it goes. What twists and turns await as we try to unravel this crazy mystery. Multi-layers, multiple crimes, multiple investigations, maybe multiple killers even. Well, with that, I hope everyone has a good night, a good day, a good wherever you are.